It's my favorite.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to, well, I guess we're not Dex Save anymore.
I gotta figure out a different name, okay?
But welcome back to the Exandrian adventures, regardless. I'm Andrew Lightwood, and I'm your DM, and around the table we have...
I'm Jonah, and I play Garm, the Dragonborn Paladin.
I'm Brianna, and I play Note, the Kenku Rogue.
I'm Will, I play the Orc Fighter known as Morzog.
I'm David, I play the Elven Bard known as Jethro.
I'm Kayla Lightwood, and I play Alana Nagaranman, the Water Genasi Druid.
And last time we left our band of adventurers.
You can call us misfits, it's fair.
Kind of true.
We've got a Dragonborn, a Kenku, an Orc, a Wood Elf, and a Water Genasi. We're a band of misfits. None of us fit in as human.
We put a bunch of shiny shit on and we're a troop of acrobats and stuff.
It's very true. Very true.
Jethro immediately writes that.
Morzog just shows up, wreck shit, and leaves. So.
You gotta wear
You're the
outfit,
bouncer.
though.
Yeah.
Our band of adventurers, known as R.U.L.E.S, had traversed through... Excuse me. Taking a boat through a river that went through the Ashkeeper Peaks over into the... past the borders into Xhorhas. Upon traversing through most of Xhorhas, they ended up back in the many hosts of Yggdrathad, where they met up with the Shatterstep twins, Zan and Zor. Upon informing Zan and Zor that a threat has been made upon Morzog's family, they decided to team up with the twins and head all the way back to the capital of Xhorhas, Rosohna. They decided to take a trip off of the main road and cut through. Oh no, I forget the name now.
You have a map.
Yeah, I know.
A couple, really.
Yeah, I know. There it is. Cut through the Vermalock Wildwood. Upon entering the forest of red-leafed trees, they encountered some large spiders, in which they shoot away with fire, and came upon a clearing in which they could refill their water canteens and rest the horses for a bit, only to be attacked by evil, darkened zombie-like creatures called Shadowghasts. Upon defeating the group of monsters, they decided to sit down and go ahead and camp for the night, in which watch was taken, and as Garm, our local paladin, decided to take watch, the dog by his side. His eyes started to get heavy, but catching himself, seemingly trying to fall asleep, he then encountered a figure that is sitting in the exact same place the dog was sitting before. A human-looking man, but of golden hair, in a black tunic with a ivory cloak that draped over a shoulder, that is holding a broken sword in his hand, twirling it around like it is like it's almost a toy, actually. Claiming that this area used to be very beautiful. This place used to be beautiful. Lush grass and trees that stretched to the coast.
Does Sebastian talk?
This is the person that is talking to Garm talking.
Oh.
Barren lays the land now. Our final battle to be rid of the betrayers left the land scarred. It makes me sad. It makes him uneasy, and he, moves his cloak and underneath of the cloak is Bastion. He's laying down on his paws, like completely out. And then he looks down from the dog up to you.
So my jaw's still on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna scoop that up.
He goes back to paying attention to the sword. He has, like, the part where it's, like, jaggedly broken, he's got pressed against one of his fingers, and he's holding onto the hilt, just twirling it. Like he's inspecting it, almost.
I'm just like... So that's kind of... there's my half question. So you the dog, or did you follow the dog around, or did you... Dumb.
So you ask this, and he goes from inspecting the sword, and he looks over at you, and he doesn't move as much as... This is really hard to explain, but the only word I could come up with was glitch.
He lags.
As he, like, you see his
I
form
was thinking more
kind of
Penelope.
become,
like wiggles?
like,
You ever see
almost like jagged and stutters.
You ever see Dead by Daylight? The spirit. For anyone who gets that.
Sure.
I thought you were
And
asking
he
him, like,
is all of a sudden, he goes from sitting like he was to being on one knee. The dog kind of like disappears for a second, and he's on one knee like this close to you. And he just goes, "Shh, I'm sleeping." And you look down because you feel something in your hand. And you look down and he's pushing the sword hilt into your hand. And you blink like, you know, your body normally would. And you blink and he's gone. And the dog is sleeping. And you look down in your hand again to what, because he pushed it into your hand and there's nothing there. He's gone, and the dog is left with you, fast asleep.
I'm just like staring at the dog, wide-eyed, like...
Gestures exasperatingly.
That's kind of what I imagine right now, is like everybody's asleep and he's going... like, what the fuck?
901 questions, got it.
Do we need to get you a book too?
I might...
I've got a bunch of
I got more. I mean,
The rest of your watch goes on. Nothing happens. No encounters. The morning comes.
It's so entertaining to have you as big man just with this little tiny book.
just
with a golf pencil.
It's
That's
the-
what I envision.
I always equate that with like Captain America and how he's just like, I missed this, and he like writes
yes,
it down.
Yes.
I relate to Awakened Cap.
You being this deep in the forest, even with the clearing, it's you get to see not the sun, but you do get to see the colors of orange and gold and purple as it's starting to rise. Everyone kind of stirs awake. Zan and Zor wake up and kind of walk off to the tree line to, you know, take a piss.
Together.
I can't piss that close. They'll share the herpes.
But they had to hold each other.
No, Bastion cured it.
You know,
remember?
I forgot about that.
Did Bastion fully cure the herpes?
Well, I mean, if he's gonna, boop him and heal everything else, I would imagine he would probably heal the herpes too.
Fair.
Excuse me, that's 5 more paladin points you would have to put into that.
I'm just...
Well, answer the question. It's still herpes.
This is valid,
You're dodging
extreme
the question.
information here. Jethro really needs to know for later.
He's still scratching himself.
Jethro writes it in the notebook.
Residual itch.
I've just got
Just have it at this point.
I've just got Jonesy and Riley in my head. Can't do
Even
anything
if
on
he
their
doesn't
own.
have herpes, he's itching way too much.
Yeah, I'm glad you caught that.
Well, I mean, if that or it's crabs, I mean...
Because I don't know if he put that together, but...
Well, if I eventually wake up and stick my head out of the pool.
Were you sleeping in the water?
Yeah. That's,
I went
I
in,
forgot about that.
I went in and said, do not fucking disturb me unless someone's dying. If so, tap the water and I'll come out.
Could be a problem, but...
Were there any fish in there?
No.
yeah, we established it was pretty shallow.
No, it
Or-
went pretty deep. It was just, it didn't have anything in it.
Oh,
It
yeah.
was just like
It's
a
a-
well.
It's a small pond.
Oh yeah, we were talking about whether or
Spring.
not it was like standing water.
Crawdads.
Yeah, it was a spring. That's fairly probably
Crawdads?
Crawdads, small worms.
small, just, small.
Works
little-
out.
Crawdads taste good.
Everything else alive in this forest is trying to kill us.
That's fair.
Well, we're
Hold
having
on,
rations.
hold on, I have to look up
Including
giant
Morzal.
crawdad now.
I mean, Kraken, depending on how your legend works.
Oh, hold on, I'll grab the Theros book. CR26 Crustaceous Kraken.
I rolled a suplex to Kraken.
Garm
assist in the
grapples.
suplexing of the Kraken.
Uh,
Teamwork.
Yeah, the Theros Kraken
The
has
handouts.
400 hit points and a phase 2. It gains 400 more hit points in the form of it cracks its armor, and it now has 4 hearts that you have to locate and destroy.
You give me a couple
It'll
of
make a
levels and
mean
watch me go
jambalaya,
through
though.
400 hit points.
Just throw me.
Perfect.
Pinpoint
spot.
accuracy. Take a couple levels in Dex. Morzal, you're gonna need to throw a Kinku
My dick is-
accurately.
Okay.
Alright, what are y'all doing?
I help make breakfast. I can make it taste better. It's fine. Twins.
Putting
Favorite food.
putting hardtack on a hot plate and like sprinkling some salt on there, like, yeah, that'll work.
It'll ride.
Gourmet.
Prestidigitation. I can
Oh,
flavor
yeah.
Water.
So, twins. Favorite breakfast.
Bacon.
Make them a
Bacon,
bad
of
version
course
of
it
bacon.
is.
Bacon.
No, they kind of saved her ass, so
That's fair.
gotta be a
The
little.
rations?
You really gotta be
That's
nice to him.
Well, okay.
for a little
So I
bit,
guess
least.
I had a question from last session. If blindness would have been successfully cast on Morzog, would that have stopped? Because technically he couldn't see anyone.
Here. Or say.
Oh, it was here or see. Okay.
So it'd have to have been you cast blind, I cast deafen.
Yeah.
And then they would have had to let me go because I could still sense that they were there.
I wonder how long it takes for it to take effect. Just like put a bag on his head.
He's gonna fight the bag.
Breakfast. I would like to make breakfast taste like bacon.
Okay. So
It's just
Weird.
rocks that taste like
so
bacon.
weirdly
Basically.
enough, breakfast is imbibed in some pretty odd ways. Hardtack now tastes like bacon, but it's delicious.
Pretty much anything's gonna prove
So it pretty much turns into jerky.
I've got one.
Bastion
eye.
disappears for a bit. He goes like three layers of trees away.
That's
and-
the pooping.
I've just
Understandable.
got one eye on this dog all the time.
Okay.
The dog is never leaving like some semblance of vision here.
You do notice though,
From Garm,
Garm
watches the dog shit.
as you're like intently watching the dog, and he kind of like goes off and he's padding away, and you see him get ready to squat, and he looks over and sees you, and then like moves and like ends up halfway behind a tree.
So we
That's
can,
not like normal dogs, though.
I disagree. You've never seen my dog take a shit.
That's fair.
My dog
That's
will
a true
squat down and take
statement.
a shit, and then he walking shits it the entire time, just ass to the ground.
That's
Both
Nikita.
sides, just
But
That's Nikita.
moving forward.
most
you know.
dogs, when they go to shit, will turn around and stare you straight faced in the eyeballs after
Yeah, mine
taking a
won't.
shit.
so
Yes,
you,
protect me, Master, while I am vulnerable.
you said he's like halfway behind a tree?
Yeah, you can
Is
see
ass
like
out or head out?
head out.
Oh,
Important information.
Yeah,
Because one's hiding your shame, one's just not wanting to look at each other.
yeah, and he is looking away from you after he noticed
Oh,
that you're
it's
staring
rough.
at him. He's just like,
That's rough.
Some semblance of fucking privacy, a weirdo.
No, we're
Trying to watch a dog shit.
no, the dog let loose some Jesus juice. We're not letting that go. Not letting that
We're gonna
slide.
bag that shit.
Is it glowing
Literally.
poop?
Holy
What does
shit.
this shit look like?
Do you
Does
want
it
to
glow?
Do you want to investigate the poop? Is that what we're doing now?
I mean, is it
I can't
Scanlan
think of a
poop?
reason not to investigate the
It
poop.
just poops gold.
No, we can make it into a scrying orb. That's Scanlan poop.
You have a.
Point matters.
Are we investigating the shit or not?
This is a valid question now.
I think that'd be a nature check.
Is it natural or is it holy?
Oh shit!
Yes, that is the question.
This is why we play D&D.
Yes, dog shit.
So what's the answer? Natural or
The
holy?
poop is not glowing.
Good to know.
Flowers don't spring forth as it hits the ground.
Nope.
Do flowers instantly die when it hits the ground?
No.
Okay.
That'd be an interesting weapon.
Well,
Dog-
Dog shit?
See, I was thinking more of the Great Forest Spirit from Princess Mononoke.
Mm-hmm.
Haven't seen
Makes-
it. I know. Blasphemy.
What?
I haven't seen My Neighbor Totoro either.
No. Princess Mononoke is the best one. Do you have a DVD player?
I have a
Yes.
computer.
We will let you borrow all of the Studio Ghibli stuff.
I've seen some of them.
You're at least borrowing Princess Mononoke because it's the best one. Sorry. Anyway.
Anyway, back to the dog shit.
Yeah. Back to the
Just
important matters here.
So was the whole conversation thing like a vision or a dream or was it a visage?
Seemingly
Seemingly
a
real.
dream of some sort.
But he didn't wake up.
He did.
He
Whenever
dreamed.
he disappeared, that was him waking up. Essentially.
God, took a full
Okay.
nappy nap.
On his watch again.
Alright, dog. Why do you think I don't normally take watch? My perception is dog shit. I let everybody else do it.
Yeah, if you ever let us know that, then you're never gonna be taking watch again. So I mean,
So I just let
The
everybody
choice
else
is
do it.
yours.
I just go to bed.
I think every single time I've taken watch, I've rolled shit on my perception, even though my perception's pretty good.
yeah. Then dog came. So I mean,
That's true. I think I
got
had rolled a 3, and then the dog came.
Yeah, your 3 is better than me rolling a 9. I got a crispy -1.
Good, solid there.
So I'm not worried about taking him with me when I go shopping anymore.
Oh.
What's a better alibi than I was with the paladin?
Alright, so you're not. As long as you don't get caught, I don't care.
Is there an oath of oath of trickery?
Not that I know of. The paladin of a trickster god. That'd be
gonna,
interesting.
gonna need to do that homebrew there. Anyway, continue.
Anyway, he pads back up and just kind of wanders around the campsite as everybody gets ready.
I'm sussing out Morzog the whole time, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Whole time.
So Elrana is keeping a good eye on Morzog, and Garm is keeping a good eye on the dog.
He tried to murder me and did murder him.
I'm writing.
Jethro's
with
fully
Lorana.
let it go. Like,
That's fair. You say you did let it go or you're not?
absolutely has let it go, except we'll crack jokes about it.
I'm
Until it
guessing
happens
it's not-
again, but not because of the rage.
My fellow Americans, it was blue.
I'm taking it's not the
I
first
am
time this
not a
has
crook.
happened.
It's the first time it's happened. I'm just handling
Let
it
me be
really
clear.
well.
Don't get it twisted. We'll see how pretty her face is after my fist has kissed it.
That was such a good ERB.
We all did 3 different references there to
Yep.
3 different presidents.
Thank you, Obama.
No, 3 different presidents, Dorkfish.
That's right. The horses are collected. Your backpacks packed up and slung over.
I'm riding with you.
Got it.
No, El rides with Elrana, as Elrana is also still teaching voice/language lessons.
We'll do basic,
Sentence composition.
No, I was thinking more like
What were you teaching
the
her again?
and
Undercommon.
Undercommon.
That's right. For some reason, I thought you were teaching her primordial. For some reason, I don't remember why.
I don't have that.
I don't need no yelling at me in Primordial, okay?
I do know
Very
Primordial, never mind.
hostile.
Never mind, I do know Primordial. We can have that next language once we get this down.
Yeah.
Okay.
You got this, you got Orcish, you know. Don't want to get them mixed up.
It's
And
gonna,
then
be,
you're pretty
it's gonna
intelligent.
be a wait on our
Before
cash.
long, she's just going to be mixing Orcish and Primordial and Undercommon all together. And, like, no one understands what she's saying, but
You'll just get the gist that it's angry.
yeah, it's just going to sound.
Yeah, because I don't know Orcish, so
Yeah, right?
even I'll be confused. Anyway, yeah, we're doing like the and I don't remember what those things are called, but those.
Nouns, verbs,
Begins with the P.
adjectives,
No, it's like the.
Begins with a P. That's all I can remember right now.
Preposition.
prepositions.
There you go.
Okay, yeah.
We're native English speakers.
I'm married to a 4th grade elementary school teacher. I've seen so many Schoolhouse Rocks.
That's what I was
Hey, Schoolhouse Rock was the shit. All right.
Yeah.
That's true. There's this thing called flocabulary, and the best way I can describe it, it's Schoolhouse Rock, but rap.
Oh, God.
And I swear to God, they're all gold. There's one about long division, and I think it's better than any workout track I've ever listened to.
What the fuck?
It's educational, Andrew. I didn't attend 4th grade, okay?
Oh boy.
That is no still for. Oh yeah, because that's whenever I lived with you. So yeah, that was the 4th grade.
As you are taking the horses now back through the Vermalock, just as it was before, trying to get horses over rough terrain is.
No.
No.
Oh, that's right. 'Cause, forgot about that.
Old Earth treadmill.
So never
Yep.
mind.
The Old Earth treadmill.
We got
Um,
Motel 6.
It's like
Great.
those toy trains
So-
that pick up the track
So
behind them and
let me
put it in
slightly
front of
alter
them.
what I said. Trying to get them over this rough terrain is easy because
Yeah.
because your assistance with Mold Earth has made it to where they don't have to worry about the dips and divots and trying to go over tree roots and whatnot. Every now and again you'll have to hop a fallen tree or something, but no big deal. You can
No.
see
I had a question.
what.
Would it be easier logistically to do it, make it from rough terrain to smooth? Or would it be easier just to move a block out, like 2 blocks out, and have a road permanent?
Either or, really.
Yeah.
I mean, we're trying to leave the forest untouched as we move through,
Yeah.
so that
Okay.
way we kind of.
Like there's a rabbit trail. We don't necessarily want to make it, a
Yeah.
highway.
Okay. That's the future.
We'll get there.
Well, there's roads
Yeah.
around this place.
Infrastructure.
We just cut through it just to save time. We don't want to disturb the forest any more than what we have to. So.
Oh, I've seen what's in this forest. I'm pretty down to do some disturbance.
It takes you guys a lot less than it would. Still a couple hours, but not near as much. Before you start seeing the basically the light at the end of the tunnel. As you come out of the forest, the red-purple trees give way to a gnarled landscape of graying earth. Jagged rocks, sunken craters, and hooked spires of rock and glass emerge from, I put from twice, from the ground.
Which side?
But like actually though.
Ilrana, your the breath in your lungs is forced out in a gasp almost. As a feeling of just overwhelming despair washes over you. Because in this landscape, there is no flora of any kind. No trees, no grass, no fungus, nothing. And at the current moment in time, no fauna either. No animals at all.
That one might be a net positive.
Not even a tumbleweed. And as you look upon this landscape, Morzog, you know exactly where you are. This is the barbed fields.
What is this place?
No, we're just on the outskirts of Rosohna now. They call these the barbed fields. There hasn't been shit here for a while.
Why is it like this?
Well,
Would you like to make an intelligence check, Morzog?
sure. My intelligence is trash, but sure. I'm not. Oh no, yes, this is a good one. Oh, you did
Or
it.
I'll
not rolling
I'll
it.
argue if you have anything in history, you could probably do that too.
It's the same.
I mean, I don't have proficiency in history, but since I'm going with it, I'm not going to obviously ask for a history check.
I could probably.
It's
That's fair.
I got a 3. I just know it's fucked up. Like I never ask
Well-
questions. It's just it's been that way since I was born. So
I would say with
I got a +6 in history.
Are you proficient in history?
Yes.
It's a +6. She's proficient.
go ahead, you can go ahead and roll history.
I rolled a
I
17.
will say though that since you
Okay.
since
Yeah,
you
I think she
are
does.
a resident of Rosohna, you would know that this was caused by something that happened back in the Calamity.
Like everything else through here.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, it can all point to that. So.
800 years ago, the Calamity happened, and it
This
fucked
shit fucked
everything.
up, yeah. It's just been this way since I was alive. I've just accepted it as it is.
Are there any, as we're going through, are there any bits of glass that I can take?
Maybe. What'd you roll?
Oh, I rolled a 17 plus the 6, so that would be
23.
Yeah.
So, as Morzog says this, note follows up in a voice that you've heard previously of a older, kind of deep voiced man, definitely not from anywhere around here. And he tells, or she tells of how long ago, whenever the gods fought each other during the Calamity, that this was the barbed fields was ground zero for a battle between the prime deities and the betrayers. The magics that were enacted or worked between them left the land scarred and near uninhabitable.
I'm giving this dog the fucking world's meanest stink eye.
Stop mean mugging the dog. man.
And I'm not gonna
Give
stop.
The dog scourges.
Can't mean mug the dog.
Is that-
Probably just saved your
Huh?
life last
Is that
session. So
I need to remember to bring the dry erase.
undoubtedly, because had I gone down, everyone else is fucked because no one else has healing.
I have a potion.
Oh, you have healing thingamajigs.
Potion?
like the one saving grace may have been if I killed everyone else, I probably couldn't have seen her in the next campaign. So I mean, unless she literally rolled a 1, she was probably safe in hiding.
Which
and
I was already hidden.
I know, but
Yeah.
Anyways, is that all she tells me?
She also says that the land is fraught with creatures that have been twisted and
That seemed like regular Joes
morphed
back
by the basically the evil magics that reside here. And that rumor tells of a single small glade, basically, where a giant tree resides, seemingly the last seed left by Melora, the Wild Mother, before she sealed herself on the other side of the Divine Gate.
Would that have been that little bit that we passed and didn't go into? Is that little circle of tree, like,
Oh, no.
that's on the map, so.
No. No, supposedly rumor has it that somewhere in the middle of the barbed fields there is a giant tree. Supposedly.
How do I spell Melora?
Melora.
Okay. Then why haven't any, if it's been that long, why haven't any druids come to help heal the land?
We always just assumed it was, dark magic just seeped into everything, and it's just a wasteland of. If it ain't gonna grow naturally, I mean, it's kind of hard for the druids to keep anything here at any point in time. I'm sure they would have tried.
I think it'd take a lot of druids.
Well, even to start, but if nothing's gonna grow, nothing's gonna grow. No matter, I mean, I expected they gave it a shot and tried
I guess
700 years ago, but.
It also depends on how deep the corruption goes. Because if they removed the corrupted earth, but if it goes 100 feet down,
Oh, even then, I expect that kind of battle shapes the world into a poor shape to begin with, so.
Yeah, so you remember those 4 things? Imagine like 60. And then imagine, and you just keep going. Just keep it going. No.
Could this land have created those things? I thought that they were undead.
I'm stupid. I don't know how they work. I just
Is your
murdered.
intelligence 10?
11.
Garm, you do know that those creatures,
not much better
be
than
it that
12.
they are undead, and this is just from your experience from beforehand, from like 5-6 years ago,
We don't want to hear it.
that those things are actually they are undead, but they reside from another dimension called the Shadowfell, which is basically like a mirror version of this world, but corrupted. Everything blackened and decaying and
I'm
dead.
going to use you here for
go for it.
The Shadow Realm.
I don't know what questions to ask.
Time to go to the Shadow Realm, Yugi boy.
Time wizard.
I'm glad that you guys know how to use me, because I don't know how to use me. It's like, I have all this knowledge, but
Well,
you
you're
know.
learning. I mean, you just got to learn to ask the right questions. It takes time.
Well, that's the thing about being a new player, especially playing with veteran players. It's like, oh wait, I can do that? Yep, you can do that.
And I enjoy putting players through a world they've never been in. It's so much fun.
I still want to take some glass if possible.
Okay.
As I can use Mage Hand and reach for off the horse so that I can get down.
I'm gonna like
What
pull
do
out
they-
a
what-
random seed from somewhere in my pocket that's
Just
like
try
hella
to-
old and druid craft that bitch so I can just have some kind of greenery to carry with me.
And you're able to, while it's sitting in your hand, you cast your druid craft and you're like, please, 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 and a little...
Oh, there's no reason why it wouldn't work. I'm just
It's
saying,
not-
like,
yeah.
give me some green, damn it. It's
Just
me in New
something.
Mexico all
Um,
over again.
You're able to find like a little, like a tiny little, almost like hook that's sticking up out of the ground that's made of this like glass material. And it's very reminiscent to the very like when lightning strikes sand and you get that very raw, rough glass look.
It's green grass.
That's basically what it looks like, except it's in this jagged like hook. What?
Thanks.
Fulgurite.
What the fuck's Fulgurite?
Fulgurite is the term for when lightning strikes sand.
Yes.
And
Okay.
Kind
that's
of-
what it makes.
Learn something new every day.
I'm a supernatural fan, so.
Yeah, I was just.
I learned it
thinking,
from a
I was
video
like,
game.
And
I learned it from
what's
Sweet
it-
Home Alabama.
Sweet Home Alabama, yep.
It's a
I did not pay enough attention to Sweet Home
they,
Alabama.
they do it in the new Gears of War game.
Yeah.
You're able to kind of saddle your or ride your horse up next to it, and with a cast of mage hand, you like grab the tip of it, and you're able to just kind of. And so you have like a basically like that long piece of glass that's about that big around.
So, chunk of lightning glass.
Basically,
So what do they mine out of that mine there, Drew?
out of Deep River.
Yeah, the one that's right between us and Rosohna right now.
I think I'm pretty sure it's an iron mine. Let me check real quick, because I didn't. Because you guys would be kind of passing by it.
Yes.
Oh fuck. Yeah, it's an iron and copper mine.
I thought that's what we said last time. I just couldn't remember.
Yeah, I was pretty sure it was an iron mine. I just wanted to double check my sources.
It's all good. But it shouldn't take us very long to reach the city from here.
Which you actually see,
What's the name of the mine?
Deep River.
Okay.
About like, probably like 50 feet from where you guys are standing on the edge of this tree line, there actually is like a very rough road, basically.
I don't know how to spell it. Or do you?
Oh, it's F-U-L.
F-U-L.
It's kind of a rough road, and I say rough as in like this isn't an actual road. It's just where people have road close enough to the tree line and not enough into the barbed fields because they didn't want to be in the barbed fields, but they also don't want to face whatever's in the forest. That it's just kind of like, you know, worked its way in, so it's like a rough trail.
That's how it's spelled. And they've used it to make that. Look at the price tag on it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
It is situational to the truth, so
Yeah.
it costs a lot of money.
See people out in the desert or on a beach or
So-
something, and they're shoving giant metal
Look at the price tag
rods
on it.
into the thing. They're trying to force the lightning to hit that. So
So if we ever need a shit ton of money,
Oh yeah, that's all.
We can unofficially create some. Create lightning, bitch. Let's go.
Call lightning.
I think we established I have sand in my pocket.
Fuck, say it.
We need a beach episode.
Absolutely.
yes.
I mean, theoretically, you guys might eventually get that. Might take you a bit, but you might get there.
I mean, Elrana will love it. Kayla not so much, but Elrana will love it.
I hope prestidigitation can remove sand.
I don't know, it gets in places you never think of.
Right.
Yeah.
Of course, and it gets everywhere.
Bad.
Oh, come on,
Poor
bud.
Ash. Yep, there it goes. And run away.
Same.
That little fucker. He'll puke on the bed,
Oh,
and then asshole will come up, and he's a cover-up.
Mm-hmm.
And he'll literally cover it up, and then I'll go to sit and get in my bed, and then it's just, oh, what's that? Oh, shit.
Oh,
Hi.
Watch your toes.
Round two.
well, move your feet.
It usually comes in twos.
That one's a gift.
Yeah, that's. Oh, poor Ash.
Yeah,
Ash is how old now, though? I mean,
You gotta hand me some.
yeah, he's up there in
Napkins.
age.
well, I think Kayla's getting some. Paper
Paper
towels.
towel. Oh, I was
No,
just
she's
saying-
getting some.
I say that's what Julian will run up to me in my room if he's got a hairball or he's got a puke or something. And I'm just like, good boy, thanks for coming to me. But there's like tile and
Right,
wood.
Why? Why?
You know how long it's gonna take me to get this out of the carpet?
Right.
Yeah, whenever we
I'm
moved
not.
from-
That's how long
whenever
it's
we
gonna
moved
take
from-
me.
Whenever we were in our previous
You wouldn't mind?
apartment, it
Jonah.
was.
Lift up that into the table.
I
Oh,
can-
that's
you're
so
fine.
rigid.
It's not. It's just a liquid.
But in
That's
our
right, you don't
last
have to-
apartment, we had carpet throughout most of it, and the only place that was tile was the bathroom or the kitchen. So I would pick Ash up and run him to the kitchen, and then set him down and let him gack onto the floor.
We have stuff to clean the carpet. This isn't like it's a big deal. It's just
I,
like,
yeah.
If you ever need it, I've got a carpet cleaner.
it's a,
It's kinda
Anytime
shitty, but-
I had a cat that was about to, or an animal that was about to vomit or yak something, I put them in the bathtub.
There you go.
I mean, it's easy rinsed. Like,
Yeah.
Turn on the water and let it run.
my goal was to just train them where if they're gonna throw up, they just get in the tub, and it's like doesn't solve itself, but
You would know that the road right here, if you kept walking along it to the southeast, you would hit Rosohna.
Yes.
And if you followed it north and then west, you would go to Asarius.
Yeah. It would take us back the way we came.
Yeah.
Just a little longer.
Kind of putting yourself in a position that is, easy to traverse. Don't have to worry about rough terrain or using mold earth constantly. That's got to be tiring for you guys to be riding on horses and for like a couple hours just constantly casting the spell.
Repetitive motion, regardless of how
Fuck.
not strenuous it initially is eventually strenuous.
it's true.
After going for maybe a half hour, you could I have everybody make perception checks?
Mold Earth is just somatic, by the way.
Oh,
I mean, there's no
Nice,
verbal to
nice,
it, so
nice.
we can.
So we just go.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Okay.
Wait, what are we checking here?
Perception.
Perception.
Oh, okay. I thought so, but before I hit, so Okay.
I was correct to roll this one today.
Yeah, there you go.
21.
18.
17.
9.
Oh.
18.
Wow, note.
I was too busy looking at the rocks.
That's like
She was looking at a shiny glass.
Pretty glass.
So everybody but Note. Note currently being on the back of Ilrana's horse.
I think that's like facing the wrong way. So
I always assume that Note's in front of me, but that's because she's smaller, and I keep thinking of her as a kid.
Can be.
Wow.
Yeah.
I know it's degrading.
Note's currently
No,
sitting there
doesn't
just like inspecting her glass, like running through, kind of mumbling the words that you had taught her before. The rest of you, as you're kind of going along this road, you can kind of hear, you hear a scream, kind of like a feminine scream. That is, it's loud, high pitched, and is cut short. Kind of off to your right, where the tree line is.
So is this... So did we pass the mine that we keep talking about?
Not
or we
quite.
just right
No,
out
we
of the
haven't-
fucking
No,
forest?
not quite.
We come out of the forest. We haven't hit the mine yet. kind of
Yeah,
thing, or we're traveling.
you guys have gotten onto the road to have like something to follow, and you're not quite there yet. But you hear a scream that is cut short, and almost like a victorious screech or roar kind of. Sound kind of off to your right where the tree line is.
Giddy up?
Investigate the tree line, yeah. Good. Response team here.
Can we, like, ascertain the species possibly associated?
With the roar or the...
It's
like
something that's just
anything.
all of the above.
Is
Can we
Is it
make
like a banshee scream, or is it a pissed off dragon scream?
It sounds kind of reminiscent to the entities that you encountered yesterday.
Okay, so it's like a ghastly type.
Yeah.
In which case, I would immediately.
It's not a
out.
bear.
Yeah.
So each of you kind of turn
Then
your
even more so,
horses
yeah. We're doing
and drive your heels into them to get them to
We're booking it.
go faster. The dog is right alongside you, just full tilt. You guys make it to the tree line where you can see kind of like 2 layers of trees in. And I'm just kind of going off of your previous perception checks. You see a shadow ghast, a single one, that is hunched over a humanoid form of what looks like a woman, her hair kind of flown out from her body, and it's hunched over her, and you can see the arms moving.
Her arms moving, or
The
the
Shadowghast
Shadowghast
arms are moving.
Okay. I don't have any ranged
And
weapons.
the closer you get, you can hear like a munching and tearing sound.
Lovely.
High,
I'm gonna kill it.
high
He's
speed
probably
murder.
just eating like a
High
person.
speed murder.
High speed
Okay.
Doom guy levels of high speed murder.
Yeah, like great axe and halberd and all
Produce flame and throw it at him.
Okay, so
Should've
attack
already
roll
did, it's not gonna
and
matter.
attack rolls from you too as well.
of that.
Unless we
Advantage
can-
because surprise.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh! Thanks for that, Will, because the first one was a 3.
Yeah.
Ooh, I didn't do very good though.
What'd you get?
That's a 20.
Ooh,
Taking a
nice.
total
Nice.
27.
When we hop off the horses, I'm gonna.
I rolled poop garbage.
Anything from you, Jethro?
They're all just heading directly toward, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna trail slightly behind because I feel like most of my stuff is ranged.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna hang back slightly, but I'm also gonna head forward.
Sure.
I don't know. I'll prepare a reaction if I can.
No, what are you doing?
Let's
When
dip.
we get off the horses, I'm gonna hide, because there might be where there's one, there's probably more.
Let me
Yeah.
throw you in a tree or something.
Just
I just vault her up to a tree.
yeah.
What'd you two roll for attacks?
19.
Okay.
12.
Oh boy.
Yeah, that would work because we're on the back of the horse. We're already halfway up there.
Did you roll with advantage?
Yeah. A 1 and a 6. I'm paying for that. 19 on the perception.
Win some, lose some.
Yeah.
Go ahead and roll damages for you two.
Yeah.
You already did.
Good.
Yeah.
What did you do?
20 total.
25.
Natural 20, yo.
Hashtag big
That's
trips.
cute.
That's fair.
25.
That's fair. Okay, for a druid, that was pretty
Yes,
damn
that's
good.
pretty good
Okay,
for a
and
druid,
for a
yes.
cantrip.
Yes, for the cantrip, that's pretty good.
Okay. So as you two kind of like go full tilt with the horses, you sling your swords in a way to where you can make a sweep. You Garm, you barely miss. Like you're like, damn it, if I was just a little closer. Morzog, you follow up and just kind of use the momentum of the heavy axe to like just guillotine across the shoulder. It takes a tumble, and as soon as it rights itself to turn around and look at all of you, Ilrana like passes by and just makes a big chuck to the face, and it gets splashed with fire that ends up sending it into a squeal, and it's trying to like clear the ash from its face as the dog comes around in a flanking maneuver. And it like almost like strike laser claw from Liger Zero just jumps across it, and you see a giant gash get torn across, and its bottom jaw goes flying off of it, and it does like a corkscrew spin and lays in the grass, and then
And it hasn't been that long, so I immediately go to the woman and hopefully be able to heal her and bring her back.
His face is missing.
you flip around and head over to the
No, her entrails are now her extrails, and it's not really going to happen, but, you know.
It is very much that. Her entrails are now her extrails.
But she's already dead. We can make a new friend.
Jethro.
She only lasts for an hour.
Yeah.
Ilrana, make a
No. What?
I'll say nature. Make a nature check.
Good thing I've got a heck and points in nature. 16?
You know what this woman is. She's a dryad. You encountered a few in your time in the other place.
Thanks.
You're welcome. And these are entities of nature who usually pick a point to kind of guard over, to just preserve the life and nature that exists in that area. She is slain.
Big
She doesn't seem. She seems sparsely clothed, if at all,
That's typical.
which is very typical. And she has. You can see kind of off to the side of her, snapped in multiple pieces at this point, is a staff that has just been shattered to pieces. But since you're also the first one there, you do notice that she is wearing a ring on her hand. It looks like almost like a small little section of vine and leaf that curls around the finger. And on it is a like a part of a rose. But funny enough, the rose actually looks like it was alive at one point. Like it's wilted away.
Recently?
Probably. It's not like on, you know, like a wedding ring finger or anything like that. It's just like on her middle finger kind of thing.
Well, while she's inspecting, I'm hardcore looking for like other ones.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with Garm and do that.
So do you hop off your horse or do you stay on your horse?
You can bring your horse over to me.
I'll jump off the horse for right now.
So you hop off the horse and just kind of like make a perimeter basically, and Jethro, you take up another end of it, and both of you just kind of alternate.
Yeah.
Go ahead and make perception checks, both of you.
Do I know anything about, since I do have some familiarity with them, what this would indicate cultural-wise?
You don't recall that it would indicate anything culturally. It looks like it was an item or something that was just hers. What'd you get?
Modified 20.
Okay.
Solid.
Good for you. Big fat 2.
Oh, no.
Goodness. Rolled 3, got a -1.
Alright, so you guys are setting up perimeter. Just watching out to see
Jethro's
if
riding
any more
side
come.
saddle.
Your hair blowing in the wind.
Fabiosa.
That is why I didn't bring the horse, because I can't be expected to handle all this.
I will. Yeah, I'll take the ring.
Okay. You slip the ring off, and you can see that as it comes off her finger, it kind of shrinks a little in size, just barely. And it feels pretty organic, as far as, but it stays that rigid circle.
Can I tell what kind of plant it is?
It looks like it was once a part of a rose.
F my perception, divine sense.
Okay.
That's a super good idea right there.
You cast divine sense, you know, a little pulse of energy kind of flowing from you, and how
60
far
feet?
does that go? 60 feet?
60 feet. As long as they are not behind total cover.
Within 60 feet, you don't sense any other undead entities or anything like that.
I want to look around and see if I can find her home tree.
Ooh.
It should theoretically be dying right now, so fairly rapidly. That's very odd. So
Make a perception check then. Just real quick.
12.
You could also ask the group.
Yeah, I can.
You
Since
know.
me and Garm are already
It's
making
good.
a perimeter, would we be able to possibly see it?
Probably if she told us.
Yeah, if I told you what to look for. I'll tell everyone else what to look for and see if they can find it, because, I mean, it's within 1,000 feet of right here. It can't be any farther than that.
So whoever wants to can make perceptions to try to find a dying tree.
Nat 20.
Solid right there.
21.
Dirty 21. Oh yeah.
4!
Oh,
Kinda
come
nice
on,
to know
Garm.
when
We're getting there, but hey, that's
You
double
got
digits
it.
on the last one. Alright.
21.
And Nat 21's the stance on point and spins for 30 seconds.
Hey, to be
straight.
fair, last we're in an Power Rangers one, I said that you could have a 10 by a 7 and a 3 on D6s. So,
She did. It was
I was
fun.
yeah, then they made fun of me for the rest of the session.
Yeah, let's start podcasting. This guy's like, for initially, he's like,
No,
Nat
it's really
25, and they're
good,
like,
man.
that, no.
Anything
I don't know what you did, but you're wrong.
Yeah.
Unless you're rolling a D100, in which case that's not a good number.
I got one of these will cooperate with me eventually.
No.
So
They're really not, though.
kind of
no.
riding on your horse with Garm in the perimeter to make sure nothing else approaches.
Okay, we'll just
You
take
kind of
turns, that's
see through the trees, about
If you roll
I'd
it.
say like 80-ish feet off, that there seems to be a tree that has an unusual amount of leaves falling from it that are not the same color as the rest.
I inform Rosohna of this.
So he lets you know of a odd phenomena going on.
Okay, I go do it.
So traversing, like I said, somewhere around like 80 feet away from where you guys are currently standing, you approach a tree that, just at first glance, it would look like any other tree within this within the Vermalock. But it's this one. The trunk has gone a pale purple, and the leaves have started to fall. And instead of their usual kind of red color, they are gray.
I do like a druidic ritual kind of idea over the tree, as it was as much a part of her as her physical body. And no, I wouldn't care. Okay, that's it.
You rejoin with the group.
Should we bury the druid over by her tree?
Okay.
Earth?
Thanks.
With the help of the
Don't even have to have Morzog, you actually dig.
Yep.
with the help of a trusty cantrip, you dig a place to inter her in no time at all.
About 6 seconds.
You place her within and place the dirt back over her. And with a small druidic saying, you lay her to rest and next to the tree in which she originated.
I had an interesting thought. So mold earth, if something's on top of the earth we move, can we move it too?
In theory? Like if you set something on top of a piece of earth and then you do your little 5x5 lift and move, then whatever is set on top of there would theoretically move with it.
I think she's meaning something bigger than, a small object.
Oh, you mean like a person?
Could we
Or a
launch
tree.
an individual?
So I have an idea for a peasant cannon.
I'll have to do some research on that.
Or you could just say yes.
Or
Rule of cool? Rule of cool?
well, and we can do the infinite loop because I have action surge, so
And surfing.
It's true.
have you guys heard about the peasant cannon?
Nope.
We talked about it a little bit last week, didn't we?
I don't know.
I think we talked about
I
it.
think we talked about it. We come into town, wherever, everyone lines up. Everyone readies an action to pass something forward. The person in the back takes a boulder. We could have Garm do it, he's strong enough. Passes the boulder to the first person. Since a held action activates at the set all together, you take the boulder from the back of this long-ass line, and this happens within 6 seconds.
Railgun.
Fires it forward. Person at the front yeets the boulder, targets the boulder. But it gets better because it gains more force if you do the infinity, but you have someone with action surge in the middle. So it starts here, comes around, builds, I pass, comes around, builds, action surge, and then I yeet it.
Could we do that with note?
No, we want something to do damage. Like this thing, the
That'll
bear.
kill me.
No, because even
That's fair. If she doesn't
even a
aim right,
mile long
easy.
line, even a mile long line is like 316 d6 a damage.
And we tried to roll it
Yeah,
last week, and then your whole tablet crashed.
yeah. It's something stupid. Like it will one shot anything if it hits.
Anyway,
And Drew's sitting here thinking, oh.
You wanted us to play together.
rocks
Records.
fall, you all die. So
Why are you being weird?
Dodge.
Uncanny dodge, no
Yeah.
time to lose.
I just remember I hadn't been hit for a while, so.
Yeah, okay.
I died last session.
Me and the tanks will take a break. You guys can go fight.
I haven't been hit in a
If you're
while
missing
because she's
it.
like, I'm gonna run this fucking way.
Yeah.
She's doing her job.
That's
I'm
doing
gonna
her
roll
job.
a
She's playing it
40.
right.
I'm gonna roll a 40 stealth and then just plink arrows at people.
We've got spells. We can sit in the back.
Yeah, I got spells.
I mean, I can tank adjacent.
I can take a hit or two. That's about it.
Not from me.
No, it'd be one hit and I'd be gone.
Yeah, I took one.
Just be like,
One round and note's gone.
4.
You were also already almost
That's
dead.
true. I was like half dead already. But
Okay.
So,
I don't like this place.
No one likes this place. It's an unhappy place.
Not a fan.
But hopefully we won't be here long. I mean, I don't want to spend any more time in the dynasty than I have to, so... I guess we'll continue back down the road.
gathering up your horses again, you find the road again. On the road again. Sorry. And proceed. You do end up passing. You can see where the trees kind of curve, and you can see the entrance to the mine. But you didn't want to go there.
No,
Okay, yeah.
we're not.
You pay it no mind and continue
Mine.
Thank you.
Fuck, I got the yawns now. Great.
Everybody who listens yawns 10 seconds
Yeah.
later.
Only sociopaths don't.
Thank you.
I didn't.
Because they do not have empathy. The reason that we do it is because we empathize.
Yes.
I was young because I'm tired all the time.
You
No. It's not that they don't yawn. Period. It's they
I
don't yawn in
know.
response to other people.
make it past the basically where the trees end. You stop seeing those and you start seeing the range of mountains again. And as you're walking, there's a
Is this the same mountain range as what we came between? Technically,
No.
No?
Different range of
different
mountains.
one.
it's a different range. Because that was the ash keepers, and now you're at the.
That was.
Okay, well you said the same mountains, and I was like, wait a second. I
Well,
thought
because
this
we
was
seen these
different.
mountains once we crossed the river past the hosts. They were on our right there.
I understand.
That's why we had to go around through the trees instead of right to Rosohna.
Because your other option is to go through this, and this is the penumbra range, and it is thick as fuck.
Secret tunnel.
Just gonna make that a whole episode. Be like, all right, I have made a mace.
Baldur.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, what's this made out of? Oh, okay, stone. Secret tunnel. Straight to the center. Oh, fuck your maze.
Zan. No, actually, it would be Zan or Zor.
I forgot they were here.
I'm pretty quiet today, to be honest.
We've been picking on them, so.
That's
also
true. We
fair.
were horribly mean to them
Yeah.
yesterday.
And then they ended up kind of saving your ass, so.
Isn't that how it is?
Zan is the one that mentions. He just kind of gestures to all of you and goes, "Hey guys, keep an eye." And he points. Ouch. He points, and way off in the distance, you can see a small little black dot in the sky. That's just kind of making different little flight patterns, just kind of seemingly looking for something.
Oh my God,
Does it have
guys,
a
it's the
color?
bat.
The bats!
go back.
They found us! Welcome home.
It's hard to tell from this range. what you guys currently see is just kind of like a black dot that's flying around. Given how it's flying, you can definitely tell that it's probably some kind of winged creature, but kind of hard to tell from.
Do you know what it is or something? Because it just looks like something flying from here.
Well, I've heard from some of the hunting groups in Asarius tell of a giant bird that flies around the barbed fields.
Can I make a nature check to figure out what it
Sure,
is?
make a
Because
nature
Kayla knows what it is. Oh, yeah, heckin' yeah. That's a 27.
Fuck yeah. You immediately go to the image of a rock, which is a giant fucking eagle-like creature that is massive in size.
ROC.
Yeah, ROC, not ROCK.
Jethro hears the word rock and looks at the ground.
You fly?
Since when?
Let me help you join your brother and cast fly.
You're like cast fly. I'm like, what?
You would know this from like basically like animal studies, basically, as you probably wouldn't have encountered a rock. Definitely not out by Vesra. But you do know that they're large, kind of eagle-like creatures that are stories and stories tall, able to pick up large creatures like they're nothing.
And also exceedingly rare, because people like to hunt them.
Also exceedingly rare.
But if it attacks us first,
It's going to be exceedingly dead.
would it be bad if I ate bird for dinner?
I feel like that should still technically be some kind of cannibalism.
Yeah, that's.
But
Not really.
I mean, not the same
no,
way, because we're
no.
mammals and we eat other mammals, so I suppose not. But
Yeah.
so then, are kangaroos mammals?
No.
You've
I
said
was
that
saying
you laid
humanoids, who are technically mammals,
Well, and you're
eat other
kangaroos are
mammals,
carrion,
and
aren't
you are a
they?
bird
Yeah.
folk, and eating other bird kin would still be somewhat equivalent.
I mean, as long as kangaroos are carrion, it really doesn't make
Yeah.
So it'd be fine if I ate genasi leftovers, but not bird leftovers.
Technically, to you, it would be okay to eat either, is my point.
We don't need a downer party this, guys. We got
No,
calm
no.
down.
Anyway,
As much as I hate fucking elderberries?
Good berries.
Good berry, thank you. I was like,
That's
that's
a
not
good berry.
technically the word in this
Yeah,
game.
follows
That's
berries.
you know, mama's not stuff.
I can change the taste.
I've ate so many that I just don't like them anymore.
You guys result in cannibalism. You're chopping up the druid, and Note's just sitting there casting prestidigitation so it doesn't taste like human. Or genasi, for that matter.
Tastes like fish.
I'd assume I'd have a higher water content.
Oh, fucking Christ.
Doesn't dry out as fast as you cook it, so it's nice and juicy.
Jethro takes the small drums.
I'm happy you gave me another word for the one I wanted to use. I was gonna go with moist, but
Oh, yeah, please.
Oh, the good old-fashioned word that
Just
everyone hates.
the classic.
Hit him with the hard tea.
You do that feet though. Love muscle.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway.
So, going for a few hours now.
Jethro's written all this in the notebook.
Just
Order
like
of
These
eating.
people are weird as shit, but they got great ideas.
I'm glad that we had to entertain the idea of a cannibalistic party.
I mean, it's Dungeons and Dragons. It's naturally what happens. I mean, what else do you expect?
I mean,
Life.
You spend the next few hours traveling along the road on horseback. It follows down to a large section of land where you can see you can see coming up the this large just barrier. Definitely not like the rest of the scenery that's on that's in your far vision. This is a solid piece, definitely man-made. You come up to a place where black obsidian walls are broken and just left standing in certain places, but with large parts in between of rubble or just completely missing sections. And beyond that, you can see that there are a few groups of people carrying weapons that seem to traverse for a while before you see one of them stop and like kind of entities form in the middle of the air that are made of like a bluish gray kind of light that are then immediately attacked with the weapons that these people are carrying and dispersed into the air. They are the pieces of wall kind of lay broken, pieces of it laying in dust and rubble, telling possibly of a conflict long past. As you approach, a couple of the guards or these groups of people kind of take notice of you, and a couple of them split off and kind of like meet you halfway. And you can see a couple of them are in makeshift kind of like leather armor or cheap chainmail, but there is one among them that is in very obvious, nicely formed and uniform armor. Oh, I'm missing a very key part to this. So, because I forgot, what you actually see as you approach is actually nothing. Because as you get closer, you notice that there is a large, humongous dome of complete darkness.
But I already wrote all that down.
I know, I'm sorry.
Just save it for later.
Yeah.
You'll see it in the bed. It's fine.
Because I forgot that Rosohna is actually bubbled in complete darkness. It is perpetually night, but only in this dome. Like right now, you're probably about like 11-ish in the afternoon. But at a certain point, the sun kind of gives way, and you almost walk through a curtain to where it then starry sky. Starry sky and dark black ceiling almost.
The hood goes up. Whoosh.
Then you see black obsidian
Yes.
walls that are broken in places and people patrolling.
Now, obsidian, do you mean those in the color or the volcanic rock?
Color.
Okay.
Hard to tell without inspection if it's actually volcanic rock, but
This
it's the color obsidian.
Okay. So as I say, because if it's...
Yeah, it's literally this color.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the reason I was asking, because if it's black obsidian, you know, the
Mhm.
rock, I want to take some of the bits, because it's nice. Obviously.
Obviously.
This small group kind of walks up into the middle of the road and just kind of meets you halfway, and the one in uniform armor you can see is a drow. That is set in almost like the armor kind of looks chitinous a little bit, like it came off of an insect and has been molded to fit his form.
That's
And he steps up in front of these others and just kind of is holding a long spear in front of him. And, just kind of hails you all down. Halt. Okay. What is y'all business?
Well, our business is our business, but I'm here to see my father.
And you are?
Shatterstep.
Oh. I am so sorry for impeding your travel, sir.
Well, you're just doing your job.
I will send a runner to the gates immediately, and you will be met with open arms.
Thank you.
And he turns around and walks over to one of them and kind of like piecemeal leathers with a small sword kind of strapped to his hip. As he like whispers over to him, and gestures for you to make your way along, and the other guy in the leather is like running for the walls.
I had to sprint. Oh my god, we should race him.
No, we'll be nice with the guards.
Bastion is kind of sitting next to you as you have this whole interaction. He's like looking up at the sky, and then he looks back into the barbed fields, and looks back at the sky.
You can see like him and I are doing the exact same
I figured the rest of them were
I was gonna say Jethro's also doing that.
I figured they were all on the barrier for like a good 30 minutes, just like dark, just like light.
It's like whenever you go to a
Dark,
time zone,
like,
you're like,
fuck.
future, past.
Yeah.
He kind of has a head tilt for a minute, and then he just shakes his head and starts padding along.
Bastion, you are a god dog, and you have the audacity.
Yeah.
But hearing that, I'll just give Morzog and the twins a little perplexed look, as much as Rosohna usually gives any change to her facial features anyway.
I did the same thing you guys did. Xanden's over there.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I remembered.
Oh, I remembered.
Yeah, it's okay. PC interactions, it's fun.
Yeah.
Yes, talk between the PCs. Have fun.
You
Don't get the voices mixed up.
You guys make your way up
They
the
all
road.
sound the same, so it's okay.
And you can see more of these groups that are just kind of like, every now and again they'll kind of like stop, and everybody takes like a fighting position to where they, you know, make a stab or a slash toward these forming entities that just disperse upon contact. And then they, you know, form back up into a patrol and just kind of make their way along.
I don't know what those are.
Okay.
These
I mean, I do, but
what you're currently in, you know, is the Ghostlands.
Yeah.
Because spirits keep popping up outside of the city, and you guys have patrols that kind of disperse them. Whether or not you want to share that information is up to you.
Yeah, they're just keeping the city safe. Just
I'm the
Let
keeper
them
of
do their
secrets, so
job.
no one else thinks it.
Okay, but it's still a thing. Like, I can give you the knowledge of what you would know. Whether or not you want to impart that is up to you.
I am an open book. I just don't know what's in the pages.
That's a beautiful saying.
right.
Yeah,
I like it.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, as we were kind of just riding through, like, Morzog's just not like super tense, but he's like more aggravated just to be back. Like, he doesn't want to be.
Damn it, I went so far,
Yeah.
and then now I'm back.
It's like when you go back to your parents' house for Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
And you're just kind of.
I understand why I'm here, but it's like you can tell Morzog's like strictly set on like a group of things he needs to do here, and then he plans to just GTFO. Like, you can tell he is not happy to be back in this darkness and here. And
You're not going to try and kill your dad, are you?
well, I shouldn't have to. I mean, that wasn't on the agenda. I mean,
Neither was Jethro.
Oh.
I don't
Actually,
know nothing
probably at this point deserve.
Yeah.
Jethro's also gonna kind of like, just because of order, I'm gonna kind of like gallop up to Morzog's horse and just kind of leave. Question: are you a prince?
No.
Are you sure?
I'm a nobody. We're just going through town.
You're a nobody? Because they made it seem like you are very much a somebody.
I'm a nobody. We're just going through town.
Seems princely.
Do I believe him?
Roll an insight check.
Can I as well?
You can roll deception or persuasion.
Yes, I do.
Don't tell.
We just start calling him Prince
that's
Morzog
fancy.
anyway.
Yes.
Oh God.
Regardless of whether he is or isn't, it's still
That's
going
a
to piss him off.
16?
That's
For my
17.
insight?
16, 17.
Solid 10 there.
He seems like he's pretty upfront.
I mean, you've been with me this long. I don't lie to you. I mean,
Did kill me.
no, I didn't. You're still here.
Murder.
That's fair.
That does not mean he's not a prince. If anything, that qualifies him more as a prince.
True.
As you guys start to come up to what is the walls of the city, you can actually see a large gate that sits in front of you that the closer you get, you can start hearing the chains pulling and the creaking of the wood as one of the doors just kind of separates from the other and leaves an opening for you guys to enter. and you pass into what you know as the Coronas, which is basically the poorer side of town, right before you get into the main city. A lot of the houses here are ramshackle. You can see various races, orc, goblin, gnoll, few drow. Did I already say orc?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. The people here seem to be
Who's fascinating y'all?
I'm playing with Amber.
Literally everyone's looking in that corner, and I can't tell who it
She's
is.
being awfully clingy today for some reason, so...
seem to be in basic attire of tunic and breeches. The farmlands that reside here, as you've passed a couple now that are tilled earth, which surprises you, Elrona, as much as that feeling you got whenever you passed through the barbed fields. You're seeing people that are like, pulling tool through dirt and checking on crops to ensure health. And
Does this area seem, normal? Or like that crap?
the ground is still the same color as back in the barbed fields.
Okay, but it wasn't seeing it that was the problem. It gave me a weird feeling.
The presence of life in this area, even just humanoid life, kind of takes away that despair feeling. The Earth still looks like shit, but you don't have that just absolute sinking feeling where it felt like your heart was in your stomach.
Normal, probably not the operative word here.
Yeah.
The sun was above our heads, and then we walked through a bubble, and now it's dark. Normal, definitely not the operative word.
Okay, but not giant despair either, so.
Yeah.
I just accept that it's weird, and we carry on.
That's fair.
You bring
can
things
also
back
see
to life with spores. Everything's
loose,
relative.
Loose definition of life.
Yeah.
No, it's more of I animate a body with spores.
Yes.
Slightly
It just
different.
becomes a fungus in a humanoid shell.
Yeah.
Friend.
Just puts humanoid skin on. It's fine.
You can also see off in the distance large industrial buildings that have smokestacks poking out from the top of them, where a faint mist or steam and black smoke is pouring out of them. That would give you the tell of it is in full operation and stabbed. So at least the people out here in the poorer side of town have jobs.
I'm gonna, leading person. Actually, are him and Tweedledee and Tweedledum all together?
Yes.
Roughly, yeah.
Okay, I'll go with all of them then. It was more of I didn't want to literally crowd around all of you to where we're just in a dense ball because that's obnoxious to have to go through, especially with horses. But if that's where the people have the answers are, then that's where I'm going. So what's with the
The bubble?
Mm-hmm.
The bubble's always been here. I don't know. I don't ask questions.
Zan, Zor, you got anything?
Zor would enter. Well, what did you have real quick?
I was gonna say what I know.
Well,
You can try.
Zor would tell you, just as and this is, this would be just basic knowledge you would know mostly, just from studies.
I mean, I'd assume that I would know, but I just always give out that answer when someone asks. It's just there.
Yeah. Like I said, any knowledge that you do or don't know, you choose to impart.
Yeah.
Well, Zor would tell you that the Drow are not very good with sunlight.
I'm aware.
And they are 90%. They are
Majority of the population.
yeah.
Blaze butt.
They are the majority of the population here. Long ago, they had some mages conjure up a giant bubble of darkness to make it inhabitable for them. Every now and again, they have a holy day where they open up the bubble. Not necessarily let it down, just open it up and let people bathe in sunlight. they end up red-eyed for like a week. But it's just a thing they observe.
So does it require like a maintenance or just there?
Not that I'm aware of.
It's one of those things that after you cast a spell enough times in the area that it stays there. So over a year, it just became permanent. You want to come roll my dice again for me?
No, he's gonna come sit in your box.
He did that the other day. He climbed into my dice box and just...
Well, that's like Thursday. He came over here and started rolling my dice for me. So.
Hey, did you roll good?
No.
Oh.
First timer.
Yeah.
It's gotta
Got to figure out
charge it up.
What number he's looking for.
The road's pretty wide here, but it is shared with the multitude of people that pass by you, and like I said, it's a complete melting pot of just races that you definitely don't see over in the Empire for the small time that you guys were there, and even over in Taldore,
We were in the Empire?
No, we're in the Dynasty.
Confused.
We're in the
no,
Dynasty.
you're in the Dynasty now.
Upper Duke's the Empire. We're in the Quinn Dynasty.
Once you pass
Past
over
that first mountain range.
That's what we had
the
to.
That's their
Ashkeepers, you're no longer in the Empire. You're now in the Dynasty.
Yeah.
Words that are generally synonymous in our fucking language are made me confused. But
yes,
continue.
yes. I keep mixing up the Empire and Dynasty all the fucking time. So.
But like where the Empire was like human, half elf, dwarf, gnome, usual races. Here you're seeing orcs and gnolls and goblins and
The more monstrous of us.
hobgoblins. You even pass by like one or two minotaurs that just are giant, brooding, just.
I wave at Frankenstein as I go by.
They're quite nice. They
they're great people.
Yeah, you wave at them and they go. They wave at you. But they're towering over most everybody that's walking by here. You make your way through to another set of gates that are already open. People jump. A few people jumping in and out of. Passing between. And you're stopped by a couple of young hobgoblins that kind of pull up and take your horses for you, sir.
I don't think we need to. I think we'll just keep on riding.
They after being declined, they kind of like bow their head and usher you along.
Are you sure you're not a prince?
The fuck was that?
I'm a nobody. Keep
Oh.
racking.
You're stupid.
After passing through this set of gates, you're hit with buildings that are finely made, multicolored roofs. Morzog, you know this as the Gallimaufry. This is middle class and commerce, basically. A lot of shops, few residents. It's over on the other page. This is even more clustered and rowdy as than it was over in the Coronas. Also, the most vibrant of the pieces of the city, as most of the buildings here are brightly colored and with signs. The roofs are all different shades of there's one that's purple over there and orange over there. That one's gray. You know, that one's blue. All different types of shops. Why do they put those on different pages? That's annoying.
Hey, not that. Literally every other piece of furniture in the house. Not that one. Go climb on something else.
The area is lit with ever-burning lanterns that are kind of like a greenish in color that hang on every street corner and on the front of most shops. You can also make out music that comes from different certain places as you know, people stand on the side of the street and will play a flute or a lute and have a little bucket sit in front of them hoping to get spare change.
Okay, asshole.
He's earning his name at the moment.
Yep.
Oh, get it now.
No, let me back up there.
Up there.
Okay. We're just down.
There we go.
That works.
There you go.
Combined with jovial jingles and kind of like almost like a haunting type of sound from certain drow musicians that you pass by. It's definitely a mingle of cultures almost. Well, you basically stand in the middle of the marketplace. You're being passed by a multitude of people. You're starting to see more drow, but it's still a mix.
Well, I want to go talk to Dad before we do any shopping. I mean, that takes an episode in itself most of the time, so...
Well, if he'd listen and say just, you know, what the item is and what the stats are, instead of being like, this particular item does
let him...
super extra things. It's like,
No, just let him tell his story.
it makes it take 10 times longer.
Well, sometimes you just gotta take that shopping episode. It's okay.
I mean, if... you're talking about the shopping thing.
Yeah.
So, with the notion that you want to go talk to your dad before you do anything else in the city, you can kind of feel yourself almost subconsciously just kind of and give yourself a big deep sigh as you continue up the thick main roadway into what would be the heart of the city. This is a place you know as the Firmaments.
So as we're like riding along, I've seen enough guards, like enough soldiers, kind of like go, "Oh, that's who you are," and kind of like try not to shit themselves because they just oopsed.
Which you guys have passed by a multitude of other patrols that just mingle themselves with the rest of society. That are like, if they see you, they almost make it a point to just kind of like give you a salute as you pass by, and then continue on their patrol.
But that guy was all like, and then you said your name, and he fucked right off. He didn't question it, nothing. Is your dad like important, like really important?
I don't know. Always heard stories that Dad was a war hero, but
He's definitely a prince.
I just want to say that I had nothing to do with this, and they did it themselves.
I know.
In Jethro's notebook, it has Morzog's name and the word prince written several times, but it's like X'd out and then put back in with a question mark. X'd out.
Every time I
Definitely
tell
for sure
you
Prince,
no,
and it's
you
like-
cross it off, and then something else pops up, and it's
Now I'm eyeballing the twins with that same intention. Like,
You're
Essentially,
asking...
same proposition to the twins.
Oh,
yeah.
Dad was a war hero back in the day, or so the stories tell. I mean,
the way that guy fucked off isn't.
well, I mean, and they kind of give you a look of Morzog. The twins kind of give you a look of with almost an unsaying question of like, do you want us to?
Well, like I said, we all set out to make our own path.
Suppose at the end of the day, I don't give a shit. It's just
They take that as an answer and just kind of like, Dad was a war hero, so the stories tell.
Yeah.
I've seen enough soldiers kind of just lose it in front of superiors, nobility, you name something, there you go.
Yeah, shit.
Huh?
Free shit.
Free shit. We're not stealing shit right now.
No.
It's not
Free
stealing
shit, like
gaslight.
we did with Humperdinck.
Oh, yeah.
Jethro has Xanon's aura ring in the computer before.
There we go. Okay, back to
Okay. So, traversing through the multicolored visage of the Gallimaufry, you come to another gate that divides the city into its seemingly last section that you know very clearly as the firmaments. And stepping into here, as opposed to going through the through the coronas, is a vastly different world. As within here, the entire you walk into very nicely done, beautiful, well done roads. The entire streets are lined with these red-leafed trees that you had seen back in the Vermalock. Passing through, just going down the first block, you pass by two houses on either side of you with huge yards and beautiful architecture of different styles, but just super beautiful elven stone gardens.
Hey, fuck off.
That are set with beautiful flowers that are in full bloom, and grasslands that are nicely cared for. Let's see. Morzog, you are kind of on the eastern end, a little ways. So knowing exactly where to go, you head up to the first kind of intersection and hang a left, and that's and like I said, the whole street is lined with these trees, almost like you're passing through a procession, and you pass by more of these mansion houses.
I have a credit score of 0.
Congratulations, you're a ghost.
Thank you.
You pass by drow now that
down
are
the gate, so I don't have to try and pull over it.
sometimes in couples or in small groups, all of them finely dressed, that are walking along and discussing, daily business. On the very eastern end, you eventually stop your horses in front of a large house with a finely done yard, a couple of trees sitting in the front that kind of flank the walkway, a tiny kind of like gazebo off to the right that's over on the side of the house that you can kind of make out, and a finely done dark wood door.
I'm just gonna dismount and rein in my horse. And gesture for everyone else to dismount and rein in their horses.
Are we just leaving our horses here and then walking to your house, or?
You're not taking the horses into the house.
I'll
What kind of
give them.
manners is that?
I more so meant like, is this your house?
Well, why do you think I got off the horse?
Jethro writes mayor with 16 question marks.
Specifically.
Specifically 16.
I can't pull the horses just to make sure that, you know, they aren't going to go anywhere.
As you're in the middle of gimping the horses, you hear footsteps, and when you look over, all of you see a young drow male in a nice jacket, kind of come running up to you at this point breathless, and is just like, "I'm sorry, I didn't know that you were all going to be home. I'll take care of these, miss. I'm so sorry." And he starts like grabbing all of the reins and is
Let
like,
me ungimp them first, or you're not going to get very far.
I underline the word mayor.
Definitely important.
At least.
This one's a new one to you, Morzog. You don't know the name of this guy.
Yeah.
You're like,
I've been gone long enough.
I remember last time it was kind of an older dude, but this is definitely a much younger person. He you know, helps you out and takes all the reins and is trying to like usher all the horses. That'll be fun. And
I think I'm going to have to help with the horses.
Nah, he has to learn sometime.
he starts kind of ushering them around the side of the house.
As long as I don't see him abusing the horses, we'll be fine.
You don't see him. If anything, he looks terrified of the horses.
Yeah,
And then you're going to get abused by the horses.
that's fair.
You come up to the front door, and on the front door is just almost like a tiny little gold kind of like plaque that just reads Shatterstep in a very fine cursive.
I'm just gonna walk in like I own the place because, well, you know.
Kind of. I mean, basically.
You give yourself another internal sigh of like, I can't believe I made it all the way to Taldore just to loop around and come back
all the way
home.
Back here, you know.
You grab a hold of the door handle and push on the mechanism and push it open. And what you see inside is fine polished wood floor, a single rug that denotes the entrance to the foyer, coat hooks off to the side, you can see that there is a part of it where it splits and goes into two different sections of the house, but there's also a large like banister stairwell that is in two different parts that come up and meet in the middle, and in the middle of that is another entranceway that leads off into the back of the house. The stairs are nice fine dark wood. The banisters are
Ash!
okay then.
Fucking old man.
The banister themselves are a kind of like they're metal, but they're like the twisted kind. You know what I mean? I don't know the style that's called, but it's got a very visible kind of twist
wrought
up to
iron?
it. Huh?
Wrought iron.
Yeah, I think wrought irons.
Well, it's not wrought iron, but it's that style.
I get it.
And you can hear off in somewhere in the back of the house a kind of deep rumbling voice that is currently screaming at somebody. as he goes, "Fucking quit it! I can do it myself! Piss off!" He's like, "Oh, no, I'm so sorry, sir."
Still yelling at the help, I see.
You hear, and a kind of peeking around from a corner is a. Hang on 1 second.
I'll say, do you still have his picture? 'Cause
Yeah, I do.
In the meantime, Jethro's debating if he should take off his sandals or not.
Oh, I'm totally fucking lost. This is a gigantic fucking house
I've also
of worthlessness.
I've also written city councilman with a question mark.
You see, kind of poking his head around a corner is a tan-skinned orc. That's, if you kind of had to guess, he'd probably be a little shorter than Morzog.
He's
By
about
a
the
little
same
bit.
height
He's
as
got
twins.
he's got a kind of long goatee that's twisted and braided, and kind of capped off with a little, or tied off with a little like bead around the end. His hair is pulled back into a long ponytail that, or kind of like more like a top knot that starts up here and just kind of works its way down.
It's okay, Zobu. Come here.
And gotcha, bitch. And he kind of pokes his head around the corner and he goes, "Boys, what are you all doing here?" And he like walks up to you, and you can see he's in a very finely made tunic that looks kind of light on him, but given his muscular stature, which is pretty reminiscent of his son's, it is not as loose-fitting as one might think. He wears a large, kind of thick leather belt around the waist that kind of holds the tunic and the breeches up, and very finely made leather boots on his feet. What are y'all doing home?
It's good to see you're still alive.
Well,
We need to have a talk.
of course I'm still alive.
Yeah, of course you're still
Was something said?
We'll have a talk. We need to get our shit put away, and we'll talk about this once everyone's kind of settled in.
Well, you know,
I mean, do you really think I'd be here if it wasn't important?
that's completely fair. Everybody come on in. Introduce me to your friends. And he kind of gestures off to the, what would be like the left part of the house. And in...
His left or our left?
Be your left. From the front door left.
Iran, I actually wouldn't know because she is so goddamn lost here. But I'm giving you shit. Continue.
He gestures off to what is a sitting room. A red brick fireplace sits there with a kind of a low flame sitting.
Does he call it a sitting room?
He doesn't call it anything. He just kind of gestures.
Okay.
Yeah. He gestures with the air of people would know.
Yeah.
And people that don't know, he doesn't know, don't know.
I'm just following everyone else at this point.
He gestures off, and you can see a red brick fireplace that's got a little flame in it. Looks like the wood needs to be replaced. It's keeping the room kind of nice and cozy and warm. You see two long couches almost, with chairs on the end that kind of face in for like conversational means. A long dark wood table sits in the middle of it, and he kind of gestures for everybody to sit down.
Choose a chair.
I just stand
more like
awkwardly in the corner.
Jeffro's gonna sit cross-legged on the floor.
I said, please, just take a seat.
What kind of couch is it?
Huh?
What kind of couch is it?
It's kind of like a earthy green color to it, with nice upholstery. There we go. That's the word.
Like leather?
Is it
No, not leather. It feels kind of like a cloth or a linen type of.
comfy or is it itchy?
I'll let you know in a minute.
You kind of give it a
Yeah.
You kind of run your hand over it, and it feels nice and smooth.
I pat the chair next to me because I'm guessing these are big enough we both fit.
That's fair. I'll just like gingerly sit in them because like I'm used to stone things and this is very weird.
I'm gonna maintain my cross-legged on the floor.
Just sitting, it's fine.
More couch
Before
for
we go
me.
further, Kayla, what's the name of that den again? I can't find
Couch
where
for
I wrote
me.
it down.
Oh, hyacinths?
Hyacinthos.
Did you write in your notebook?
How do you spell that again?
H-Y.
That's what I thought, but I like.
But with an exclamation point.
Like, ooh.
Jeff doesn't writing his own
It's
personal
alright,
notes as
I'll
well.
guess, it's fine. I don't need to
Ah,
spell
there
it
it
out
is.
for him.
H-Y-T-H-E-N-O-S.
No, that works. It's close enough.
I have it in there. I just had to find the page.
Right. Oh, I didn't really put my thing back on Big Man. I gotta find that page again. There we go. Sorry.
Sorry to real for notes' sake. Continue.
Yes.
So all of you take a seat, and he looks at you and goes, give me a second. And he walks off into another room that's connected to kind of like the back end of this. As he disappears, you kind of look around the room, and above the mantle, or above the fireplace, kind of sitting on two hooks that jut out from the fireplace itself, is this big single-edged battle axe that is looks like it's made of the wood looks like it's been in definite use from the handle. You can definitely see where hands usually grip it at certain points, as there is more of a kind of wear there. Leather wrapping meets the middle of it, and the blade still looks super sharp. And just kind of around the walls, you can see like different little pieces of art that look like they, just kind of decorate the walls, and it's just different scenery. There's a kind of vase off in the corner that has a small collection of different flowers that jut up from it.
Do we clock any Morzog baby pictures?
You look around and you do not see any. You don't see any like baby pictures or any. You would see one family picture. There is one family picture that kind of sits right adjacent to the mantle of an orcish woman. Long dark hair. She's in just kind of a simple dress of a green that kind of contrasts against her tannish skin. Two tusks that come up from the bottom of the mouth, as is apparent on most orcs. She doesn't seem smiling. She just seems like she's looking at whoever is painting, kind of thing. But yeah, other than that.
All right.
His father's gone for a while until he comes back with kind of a little more of a stomp in his step, and he stops and turns around and he says, "You fucking better be careful." And then he comes back and sits down in his chair, and you can see a kind of slender drow man is carrying a tray of that has like a platter of or a plate of different kind of like finger foods. There's also a teapot and some cups set on it, and he sets it down on the table and then kind of hurriedly exits the room.
Was this the same one that we saw outside?
Different guy.
I shall stuff my face while the knowledgeable people talk.
Was this one you drove to?
Drew, check your phone.
Why?
Jethro's gonna like, whenever you're sitting cross-legged, but you want to move,
Mm-hmm.
kind of like that bounce scoot.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bounce scoot over to note and also eat.
I just have the chair next to me.
I remain on the floor.
Is it like what Ilrana would consider normal food? Like, I've been in a couple taverns now, but this is like a super fancy upscale place and like
Cheese.
even more out of
These-
place
these
than
Like,
usual.
this ain't hardtack, okay?
No.
Are
Okay,
they
but like,
sliders?
So-
is it like little tea sandwiches?
Well,
is it fucking caviar?
so
I know
to-
what caviar is, but
to kind of give you visual, they do look like what would be like small
Bagel bites.
like sweet. You can smell sweetness coming from them. They look like small little like cookies, basically. They don't look like they're like chocolate chip or anything by any means, but
Like
I don't think I've had
pastries.
any sugar.
Oh boy, hyper on.
I take a cookie, sniff it some more.
the smell is very sweet, and you smell a faint hint of vanilla.
Jethro does like a smile with all the cookie in his teeth and is like, "It's good, don't worry."
I take a bite,
Make a constant. No, I'm just kidding.
and it goes to the nut job where the little squirrel gets the fucking monster energy drink, and he's just like pupils dilate.
Yeah.
Awesome, misses. I take like 3 more. I'm just gonna sit here and eat my cookies.
Morzog's dad doesn't seem to pay any mind.
I'm gonna put a couple in my pocket.
Take them out of Nut's pocket.
So, what is this that you wanted to tell me about, whatever it is you needed to talk about?
Well, if I had to guess, it's something to do with your past actions. Because on my adventures, with me and my companions, we've managed to piss off quite a few people, as we do. And unfortunately, in our last little encounter, there was a threat made on your life. And as much as I hate to be back here, I grabbed the twins and brought them home. That way I know where everyone is at. And we can try to figure it out. We will probably be here a few days at the least. And then we'll go on about putting a stop to what's been started here.
After you get done saying something about a threat on his life, he now listens to the rest of what you say with a big arched eyebrow.
Like Dwayne the Rock Johnson level of like,
Oh,
it's
yeah,
like,
pretty-
it's like
point.
at the
Yeah,
hairline.
pretty much, yeah. It's completely up in the forehead, basically. And he just kind of looks at you with a threat on me.
Yeah.
That's adorable.
You know, I thought that too, but some new information has come to light about how we live how we live. And how we ended up where we are. And if I had to guess, it ties back into... Our things probably tie back into the, that deal that was made.
What deal?
Oh, don't try to sit here and play dumb with me.
Make an insight check.
Can I make an insight check?
Oh, well, fuck that. It's a nat
Nope. I make jack shit. I'm sitting here absorbing my cookies.
Where's my insight? It's a modified 24, but a nat 20.
Oh, nice. You can kind of tell the, like, now he's like straining to keep the eyebrow up in this kind of look of like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
You can definitely tell that there's more. He's definitely trying to keep it to himself. And he just continues with, well, I'm not sure what you're talking about, because...
We can either have this conversation in private, or we can have it right here with the twins and my friends. Either way, they're going to find out. They've assisted me this far. I'm not... I'm tired of the lies, and I'm tired of everything else that's gone into this. That's why I left here. That's why I harbor the resentment that I have towards the dynasty.
Would it help if we said this thing, the person that made the threat tamed an eyeball monster?
No.
No, not at all?
No, not really.
Okay.
But it's a valid enough threat for me to come back. I took it serious enough to traverse from where we were back to here. Beyond that, we're looking into some of the dens in the city. Because one of them seems to be, funding the person that's trying to kill us.
He gives a deep sigh. Alright, look. I didn't tell you any of this because I didn't want you or your brothers to get roped into my shit. But seeing as how now it seems that everything has come to call, might as well lay it on you now. A while ago, like whenever you kids were boys, or I had discovered that Den Hythanos had been secretly dealing in a small smuggling ring, moving illegal goods, not necessarily illegal goods, as much as it was just illegally gotten. Between illegally gotten goods and multiple happenings with certain drugs, they had been keeping it under the Crown's nose the entire time. I tried to expose it. And when I went to the Bright Queen to lay out all the information I had, I knew I didn't have any proof, any physical proof, but I tried anyway. And whenever I went there, she wasn't her normal self that day and saw it fit to just push me aside, saying that the investigation would go on without me. I didn't take that for what it was worth, so I went and confronted him on my own. then on my own. I battled my way all the way down to their storeroom, but whenever I had the opportunity to make the final blow, they gave me the facts of that if I were to go through with my little vendetta, that it would potentially put you in danger. And so I chose to keep my family safe. And in return, as a show of thanks or good graces, however you want to say it, they gifted us with a large sum and a place to live that would, you know, keep us hushed.
Well, it obviously worked until, you know, I'm still in danger and you're back in danger and the twins are in danger and seems like everything's just kind of coming back around full circle.
So it seems.
They're funding building metal men, for fuck's sake.
Murderous.
Murderous metal men, for fuck's sake. And these people that you just let go for your,
Yeah.
you know, for the hush money, for the house, for everything else, have gone out into the world and created these terrors that the normal population can't deal with. And it drags me all the way back from where I was, as far away as I can get away from this damn dynasty, to back here. We gotta figure out how to put an end to this. I've never cared for all the help and all the gold and the house and we're going to be here for a few days, just kind of looking around and getting our information straight and seeing what we can do about this. The Queen probably won't have anything to do with it if we can avoid it, but we'll just see how everything plays out over the next couple days. Zan and Zor will stay here with you until this is sorted.
So be it. After you got done explaining kind of like what you're gonna do, he's explained himself, he's just kind of wearing a look of shame. And,
How are Zan and Zor taking this information?
Probably the same way you all are.
Quietly.
Zan and Zor are they're you can definitely tell by looking at their jaw that they've got it in like hard set, their mouths in a thin line of just, you know, we didn't know that this was happening and now we're kind of angry about it.
And as I'm done, I will turn to the twins and tell them that they will be staying here, that until I come back and tell them it's all been taken care of, they are not to leave the property. At least not alone.
They kind of give you a once nod of sure.
So I figure everyone we can settle in here for a couple days I'm sure we have the room to make everyone comfortable.
Well, I haven't touched you or the twins' rooms. And we have a couple of guest bedrooms. They're all upstairs. You know where they are.
Yeah, well, I'd like to be excused so I could talk to my friends here. While we try to figure out what to do.
He gets up and kind of moseys on out of the room.
I'll
Those
go
are
ahead
here
and
too.
tell the twins to, GTFO as well.
They grab their bags and start heading back up to their room. You can hear them kind of climb the wooden steps.
So, there's a couple things we need to do while we're here. I don't want to have to be here any longer than I need to be, but as we are here, we might as well take advantage of the stuff around us.
I probably should have answered that, but I
Now,
don't want to deal with it.
Okay.
That's fair.
I know that's a lot to lay in front of everybody here, but I wanted to hear it from him as we find out that the reason that, Dad lives the way he does and everything else, and kind of why he is.
I will come to your house and beat you to death, old man.
But we need to figure out how we want to approach dealing with Den Hythenos. And I need to try to gather some other information while I'm here. And I think we need to just try to put a dent in this problem that we have. I don't know. I don't have a clue how we play this. I mean, we really have one trump card to play, and I really don't want to play it.
Do you know where he lives?
No, we can't just. In this area, you don't just go barging into houses. That's not a. Unfortunately, there's more to it than that. I don't need to be.
So no basement digging.
Yeah, no basement digging. Last resort kind of thing.
So presumably this fellow that the deal was made with is still breathing.
Oh yes.
Does the general population know about what they've done?
No. That's why Dad's considered it. That's why you see all these military people treat the Shatterstep name with revere, but the higher-ups don't. The military knows what he did. He knows the war stories, that he's a hero, but he's not treated such as the Queen because of what happened here.
So the Queen still doesn't believe him?
As far as I know. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure we could probably swing an audience with the Queen if we needed to, but it's not something I'm really looking forward to without more information to go off of.
Yeah.
Well, by the sounds of it, we don't need to go to her unless we have all the information that's going to take to get her to be on his side.
Yeah. But the problem is these dens are so... They're a rich old white people kind of thing. You know,
Rooted.
Money runs deep. You know, influence and power runs deep. So it can't just go around making accusations like Dad did back in the day. Like we need, and even if we have the proof, it doesn't mean she's going to listen. And then we need a plan. Because just because she, you know, out some whatever doesn't make our problem go away. Their network probably still runs shit. And I'm sure it's bigger than their little ring that they started way back when Dad caught them. So
I guess the real question is do we only care about what we came for, or are we going to burn him to the ground? Because that's going to be two very different approaches here.
I think for the time being, burn it to the ground is kind of a back burner kind of thing. Like, as much as we love to, I think for right now, we try to gather as much information as we can about their comings and goings. And I mean, we have a nice little kinku here that can hide in 30 different campaigns that she should never be found to follow these people to kind of start, figuring out who they're talking to, why they're talking to them.
I'm gonna need some notebooks and some pens.
yeah.
Quills.
Hey, I think he's got a couple notebooks.
It's true.
We have access to what we need here. Like, we have... As much as I hate to, I'm going to use the family resource to help us in this endeavor here. So...
What's their front business then? Like, they just have the money and everyone's just cool with that, or they pretend like they're...
I think they're just general traders, right? Like, the Hythenos are like the high-end import-export, right? And that's how they run shit in and out, because they're import-export.
So do we need to, like, get jobs and work our way up?
No, none of that. See,
I was thinking more shadows in the corner, conveniently listening and overhearing things
Yes.
we shouldn't be a privy to.
So I need to find familiar. ASAP.
I mean, luckily the family still has some sway with the locals and other military. We can kind of see who's talking to who, and
Well,
So,
tell me where you want me to go and I'll go.
is there a reason we left out the what do I have written down here? Fuck face. That's what I have him listed as.
That's not important. All he needed to know there was a threat. He does,
What about the ball?
because we have nothing on fuckface. That is not mentioned why we're here in the city.
Okay.
No one knows we have that. No one needs to know that we have that. That does not exist in this city.
Okay.
Because it is our one trump card out right now. What are you doing and pushy for, huh? What are you doing?
Because everyone's paying attention to
why,
Zoe.
Why are you in me? I hear you.
Zoe's getting so much more attention than her.
It's okay. It's okay. But
So everyone's on the same page. We're not gonna mention the one-eyed prick with basically end of the world nonsense.
no.
Got it.
The less the queen's in our business, the less the dynasty's in our business, the better off we'll be.
That's how it works everywhere else. The less the
Hopefully
richer
this
the white
horse
people.
will get fired.
Yeah, well, not at the house. It won't, at least. I don't expect anything to really happen inside the city. But
The less the rich old folk with their selective hearing and the selective decision everything.
yes.
Metal. It works that way everywhere. Conveniently. The less
Every universe,
yeah.
too.
I mean, and as much as I know we love just to kick down doors,
Have to be more finesse with this one.
yeah, there's a time and a place. And
I'm just looking.
inside the city with the amount of guards and everything else roaming through here, that and these ain't POS guards. These are guards that go in rotation that help take out the spirits and everything else. So
I'm just looking at
Figure out
Jethro
where
a
the
note like
information
your
is.
time to shine.
I can copy it. I can make a forgery.
yeah, well, we're gonna do some investigation, library work, and yeah, well, I'm not a big fan of it either as Morzog, but
Big useless.
Good at that.
that's why I said I was going to use you here shortly. There's a lot of stuff I need to start trying to find out.
You
Per-
need
pers-
this
personal
book.
and for this. So,
Well, as long as you don't get pissed off and cut my head off, we're good.
right?
Now you do that, I'm gonna hide, and then
In the next game.
In the next campaign.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Transfers to Thursday's campaign.
Yeah.
Randomly have to... Actually, I already know where Kinku's come from, but...
Yeah. So, about what time is it now?
Just after 7.
You gather it's probably it's harder to tell because now you move from day to night, but you gather given you know, roughly what time it was, you know,
3 o'clock on the mantelpiece.
plus going through the entire city, you probably gather it's probably about like 1-ish o'clock.
Okay. Do I know where that family lives, right? I mean, it has to be through here somewhere.
We did determine that they're traitors, right? I don't think you ever answered. Or I didn't hear.
No, so okay. So the way that the dens work in the Kryn dynasty is that they're not really noble families because they're part of a big business, as more so that they're just ruling families.
It's a
Like each
bloodline on the
one's-
business.
Yeah. Each one of them are basically given a like a section or an aspect of the society to basically like help to watch over or kind of quote unquote manage. Like for instance, Den Kryn is like they are the Bright Queen's den. So therefore, like, their job is basically high command.
Yeah.
So, like, literally the Templars from Assassin's Creed. Literally.
Yeah, pretty much. But if we know where they live, we know where they stay, we should be able to follow, you know.
So what section do they have purview over?
Do you have a map of the city? Would your dad have a map of the city?
He would have an internal map of the
Yeah,
city.
I have an internal map of the city, not... I mean, I can take you and show you around. And
Cut to
kind
the
of
next
just-
hour of just Morzok dictating what the city looks like.
Yeah, well, we can get out and kind of just walk through the city and kind of... If all else fails, make our presence known. Because...
Because we're real inconspicuous.
Well, it's not even that. It's... Either they know who we are or they don't, and either way, it's going to get back to them that new people are in the city and digging around, so...
Den Hythanos is the... God, I cannot think of a good word for it.
Well, give me the word and I'll give you a better.
They help to watch over and manage intercity trade, basically, like commerce.
So import-export.
Import-export. Shipping.
Marine exportation.
Sure.
Yeah,
Are they on the coast?
No,
No.
we're mountain adjacent.
It's
kind of
not. Sorry, it's not. It's between the cities of the dynasty. So they manage trade between
intercontinental trade.
between Rosohna, Bazzoxan, and the many hosts and Asarius.
Like delivery or sales?
All of it.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
All of it.
At Walmart.
Which, after your dad says something about how they're, moving ill-begotten goods and drugs, and then, oh, well, they're in
shipping
charge
shit
of
too.
that.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense as to how they're getting things around.
So I need to go buy some drugs.
No, we need to go talk to the traders first and kind of.
I mean, we do need to get more potions.
We do.
We always need to get more potions.
In bottles.
And bots.
Now here's the big question, because I'll abuse it. How much money do I have access to the family?
Is there just a tab? Put it on the Shatterstep tab.
Yes, like I need to know what I'm working with here, because I
How
have
much
just
clout?
all plans.
Yeah, right.
And you didn't think
make
of
that
that.
one all the
I
way
know
through.
you didn't think of that.
I didn't think about the fact that, like, oh, hey, he has some money put away.
Yeah, like we have.
I mean, you live in virtually a mansion, have at least 2 servants with a horse pen. Yeah, they got a bit.
I'll say it's been a while since you've been home, and at the current moment, you're unsure as to how much is left or is
Yeah.
currently.
I would imagine that he
in-
would, either keep getting a stipend or have invested some of it
Yeah.
to keep getting returns.
say just at the current moment, you're unsure of how much has been put away or how much. Is
I mean, he's
left
compromised
kind
his
of
morals, not his intelligence.
Yeah. We'll figure it out. I was just wondering if you can, thought of that or not. But I think we'll.
thing. There, I will say there have been points in your, in your early days where you have been able to just go put it on my tab kind of thing. You're unsure as to, your house ends up getting the bill and you're unsure as to how
It
ends
gets
up being
paid somewhere,
but
right?
it gets paid
Yeah.
somewhere.
So. Oh, movement! Hurry, go!
Stop it.
We'll take
Come
the
on.
rest of the afternoon, and we will. I'll take anyone who wants to go, and we'll go out and I'll show them around the city so they have a general layout of what's where.
I'm going. I'll still probably get lost, but I'm going.
Okay.
Jethro's going.
All aboard. Let's go on aboard.
I mean, our first stop is definitely just going to be walking by their house. Their area.
Are they close?
We're all in this area of town.
That's kind of what I
Is
figured.
it
but
like
just
a cul-de-sac of mansions?
Right. The next street of
Choose, like,
town.
map.
So,
Thanks.
Hey, look, he
Told
does
me
have a
to
city
see if I
map.
could see that bar.
Yeah,
so
bold of you.
this is Rosohna.
Yeah.
This whole area here in the middle, that's the firmaments. All those little houses right there are all mansions.
Okay, so they're in the
Little.
same.
Yeah, well, we're all in the same area.
That's the inner ring of bossing. Say.
Yes.
It's just.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, then I'm good.
So
I don't know what
starting
you
from the middle,
guys.
you have
Beautiful explanation. I got it. We're
You
good.
have the Lucid Bastion, which is basically the Bright Queen's castle. And then around that is the firmaments, which is all high-end, high-class, the dens of the city kind of thing. Outside of that is the Gallimaufry, which is middle class, your commerce, your shops, taverns and inns. Thank you. And then outside of that, on the end, is the Coronas, where the poor people live.
Are there any like super upscale taverns or bars in where we're at currently?
And this is more residential.
Is it okay?
There
I'm just
would
trying
be-
to get an idea.
There
for
would be a couple. There
cityscapes.
would basically just be a couple of bars, not necessarily inns, but
Okay.
a couple of bars.
The classic kind where you sip your champagne.
Where you will
and-
never find more zone.
Unless
Well,
you
that's.
have to.
I'm trying to get a vague
Yeah.
economic layout. Like.
Less ale and beer, and more like hard liquor and wine kind of thing.
Okay, I follow.
Don't forget your ascot.
We'll see. He needs to know where he can go to conveniently find out information without anybody else figuring
Yep.
out.
Because
We're gonna let you be the bard. We're gonna let her be the
Yes.
sneak. We're gonna,
also Jethro.
We're gonna play stereotypes.
I'm going to sit in the
Yes.
corner and be very, very confused.
I just
you
picture
play-
Ilrana walking through this entire place just like.
See if he has a dress and his costumes.
I
and wear a
absolutely
really
have a
lovely-
dress.
a
That is not
couple.
like-
At least a
Yeah, I
couple.
I think I actually
Don't you
established that.
Don't you
in-
have a disguise kit?
Yes,
Yeah,
you do.
yeah.
But that comes with 3 different costumes, I think it is.
Yeah.
One of
So-
them
I
is
think
dress.
we already established that I have a cowboy hat.
Yeah.
In the group chat, I established that the dress that was described, I have.
The one from my dream.
The one from and
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's like tight fitting with a slit up the leg.
Yeah.
Like
I
got
would
the-
be very, very uncomfortable in it, but I would look hot.
But so where are we at, and where are they?
you're
You're
like right here-ish. This
Uh-huh.
little house that's right here.
It's on the edge.
Yeah, little house. Yeah. Little house on the prairie. That's how we
Sure
live
thing,
there.
bud.
Shut up.
My new favorite phrase.
Yeah.
They would be pretty much on the other side, near
Okay.
parallel.
Naturally.
Yep, that's fine.
Near parallel.
I mean, short walk. From what
We
we're
live in the
used to.
Midwest. That actually is a short walk.
Yeah.
It's true.
So.
Well, it's only like 2 hours away. You can walk.
It's only gonna take me half the day to get there. Well, it's fine.
No big deal.
Take me the other half of the day to walk back. No big deal at all.
But
Bag of
Kara
holding.
is so confused.
yeah,
No, she's just upset that she's getting.
out here.
Come on, go ahead now. Come in a butt.
After that little walk of shit, you know, being like this is the house. As we're just nonchalantly walking by. We're not trying to scope the place out, even though
And
it is dark.
you are all
but-
you are all the kind of the center of attention.
because we are not
'cause
dressed like anyone else.
You are not dressed like anybody else. Everybody else is in very nice, finely tailored silks and such.
Do you have any of your kid clothes still?
And
We're doing this on purpose.
Okay.
and there's quite a bit of you that are in like, you know, 2 of you are in chainmail that has seen some
Where
action. You, Miss Druid, are in kind of natural,
Yeah.
natural looking. You're wearing leather armor, aren't you? Okay, yeah.
This is one of those scenarios of either we can do it and not be seen, or we can do it and we'll be the only ones they see. Because
Well, my
They'll
question-
see us, they won't see you.
That's
Everybody.
what my question was. If he has any kid clothes, I can disguise
Yeah.
myself as an old
Which-
child,
yeah,
and
It's
then
true.
which we can do. It's just one of those things that
you know.
when people are guilty and they see stuff out of place, they tend to start acting more and more guilty.
They tend to slip
So,
up even more.
Either they'll slip up and approach us, or they'll be easier to follow because of it.
Every
So-
group of people of drow that you pass by, they like stop immediately what they're doing to just kind of like watch you for a second, and then you see them turn back and start talking to each other.
Just trying to get the word out as we walk through the neighborhood that there's some, you know,
Morsok's back in town.
yeah.
Morsok's back in town.
I'm just waiting for the twins to be around.
Dang,
Boys are
dang.
back in town. The boys are back in town. But okay, I want to take Jethro around and kind of show him the local watering holes that I think he'd probably be able to get his information from, because I don't really need to be too high end. I'm looking for more of mid ground, just the shady types would try to hang out at. You know what I mean? Not dive bars, because that's too obvious. But
Right, but they just kind of that all around.
yeah, where there's enough people in them to cover the voices of having talks. You know?
Yeah.
Who am I gonna hang out with?
Well, for now, you'll probably come to me with
I have an
library
idea.
as I try to
What's your
find
idea?
some other
It's
information,
probably
personal
terrible.
information.
Well, Jethro's in.
And then we'll probably have you
And if it doesn't go well,
follow these people for a little bit.
we might have to fight our way out of it.
How tall are you?
Me?
Mhm.
Let me just double check. I'm at least 6 foot. I know that.
Yeah, I think you're a little bit taller than I am. I'm 6 foot.
Yeah.
I'm surprised my campaign 2 character ended up as short as he is.
Description.
Mm-hmm.
I am 6 foot. So.
6
So
foot
the
even?
same.
Okay. Because as much as she hides in the corner, Elrana's very pretty. And put her in a red dress, she's going to draw all the attention. So.
Yeah.
Put Jethro under it.
Blue skin.
That's very true. That's very
Blue
true.
skin on a red dress with a slit.
Yeah.
Get it, girl.
And can also distract besides just physically, and she can't actually say.
Plus, Plus, if you ran a comb through your flowing hair and then it just went back to flowing again. Yep. So, I'm very sorry.
So at the very next achievement thing, I'm gonna have to take observant for this fucking small little, at least tiny arc, if not big arc.
Yeah. But
You're looking for what again?
we were doing taverns.
Yeah, we were just.
We want mid-ground taverns, enough where they're populated with enough people that.
So the
you know,
Gallimaufry.
So they're populated with enough people that people don't hear you talk when you're talking to the person next to you. I mean, let the bard kind of do his thing there, and then we'll probably need shopping, magical and other, and I need the biggest
Library.
yeah, the biggest library, the biggest source of information I can get into.
Or I can get into.
That's fair. We'll see. We have to use you strategically, because whereas
You write me a list. and I'll take the books.
Yeah, but it's a different
I know.
kind of searching for information at the moment.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's not like we're going to be able to go and just look at their books.
he is
This-
decently intelligent. He could technically go out and do research.
Yeah. Well, then that's what I'm doing. There's a personal stuff while we're here, taking advantage of the resources at hand. But
I mean, I am
Is it under features?
a bit more than
What are you
normal
looking for?
intelligence, but still.
I'm barely a bit more than normal intelligence, but I know
You're on
you
the
know.
app, right?
Yeah.
It's my second
I
Yeah,
think
so
I found
so-
it.
features
Yeah,
and
there you
traits.
go.
I spelled Rosohna
where
wrong.
is it?
How does
Rude.
Jethro feel about being a merchant?
I asked you so many times how to
Yep,
spell
I know.
that.
I'm sorry.
The gruesome
That's
twosome of
my bad.
charisma scores.
Yeah.
Interesting. Here for it. Although the merchant like sales switch would be very Billy Mays, I will say.
Yes.
That'll ride.
Billy Mays. Wait, what's
This is
your
Jethro
last-
here with
Jethro
Oxygen.
Jansen here.
Billy Mays and his dragonborn bodyguards.
Oh, yeah.
Oh no, that's where you're on. You're Billy Mays. I'm the slap chop guy.
Well,
Okay. So looking
Is it not
for
coming up?
a tavern, you
researcher.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I know. That's why I was like, we're going to use you.
That's a question. Apologies.
yeah.
So there's very obvious rings to this town, city, whatever. Is there an actual physical ring, like a wall in between each, like a gated
How
community
Bossing
kind of
say
thing?
is it?
Yes, it is. It is the rings of
fir-
Bossing.
Yeah,
Okay.
the firmaments
Okay.
is
Or
completely encased in a wall.
Attack on Titan.
Yeah. The Gallimaufry has less of a ring and more like arch.
Yeah.
Because like the very very back end of this
Is
going straight south where the city would end, quote unquote, is just a mountain.
Yeah, it's built into the side of the mountain.
Yeah.
Or not into, but
Yeah.
Yeah,
Adjacent.
it's
You're kind of in this little like I don't know the name for it off the top of my head.
a valley.
Sure. Where the penumbra range kind of starts to curve, and in that little nook is where Rosohna sits.
Valley.
It's a valley.
You do know of a pretty well known tavern that sits in the firmaments called the Dim's Inn.
Dim is in not that
D-I-M.
dark.
Yes.
I know you said it's tavern, but I'm assuming it's an inn as well. I'm just gonna assume
Make that
that.
assumption.
I just generally assume that all taverns are also
Yeah,
inns.
I don't because
I would be questioning for like more upscale places.
To me, if you say tavern or inn, it usually means that there is probably a bar with alcohol and rooms that you can take.
Yeah,
yes.
it's
But if it's
almost
specifically
interchangeable.
said that it's a bar, there is no rooms.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any tavern is also an inn, depending on how drunk you get.
Also an out at that point.
But there's always in a tavern. Is there any notable information, or just that it's which I guess that actually would be a more solid question, but
Yeah.
No.
sake of
Mhm.
direct line.
Sorry. No, like, special information about it. You would know that it's pretty hard to miss. This is a large 3-story structure, and it has 3 different signs on the front of it.
And this was more upscale, right?
Midland.
Oh, this
yeah.
is the mid. Okay.
Yeah, this is in the
So
capital.
then
that's
I
what we're
have
looking for is
flashing
more
neon
Ju-
lights.
sorry.
I mean, I will let you play the high scale before we leave, so but
I think it would be. It could be potentially good.
yes, there's
Well, see, the problem with trying to go to the high-end ones is that's more like just ambiance music because they're sitting there and eating their
elevator
cute little-
music.
Yeah.
And
That's
it's
true.
real
Food.
quiet.
That's a good
At
point.
least
real,
in this
you
kind of
know,
tavern, it's like, nah, we're gonna get a little rowdy later.
Okay, that's fair.
Which I figured it would be more leaning towards the
Yeah, people who fraternize,
the illegal,
fraternize with
the more
gangs.
illegalness.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, if it was
Right.
me, that's
Work
what
hard,
I would
hard,
do.
hard.
You could do some what's it called?
Ska music. That's the
Doing?
first thing came to my head.
I can't think of
Describe
the
it.
word. It begins
Describe
with an
it.
S. It's music. It's not swing, but it's
I did say ska. It wasn't ska, was
that
it?
time period. Like
Scat?
No.
It's a type of fucking music, you weirdos.
That's true. I mean, yeah, it's scatting, but
Yes.
I don't think that's what you're talking about.
No, the like old crooners.
Swing?
Swing, yeah, swing.
It's before swing. Black and white. Oh,
I'm still thinking that's swing.
Frank Sinatra.
Sinatra?
Jazz?
Sinatra, yeah. Well,
Say
but that
Sinatra was
kind of
jazz.
the kind of
That easy
that
listening.
area.
Sway.
I don't know what word you're trying to come up with because I'm
I keep-
still stuck on swing. So.
I keep landing on like you serenade somebody, but
I can't remember. Is it Frank Sinatra?
Regardless.
Regardless, let's
Let's keep going. We all
Anyway,
understand the
let's
parts
keep-
of the
that
premise.
yes.
Any
So-
other notable taverns?
Maybe Sinatra was the S word. I knew there was an
Maybe.
S word.
There, you pass by one, a smaller place that it just has a single sign on it, or it'd have two signs on it. One of them in common, the other one in undercommon.
Okay, I was like, I can read that. Yeah.
But both of them read out the same word of moonlit. That's all it says. Just moonlit.
I mean, there's a question. So this is night sky above us, correct?
Mhm.
Is there a moon?
Nope.
Okay.
So, okay. With my knowledge of nature, would I be able to ascertain that this dome is mimicking what it would be in this area without light, as if we're literally seeing beyond the atmosphere? Or is it artificial, completely made up, random shit?
It's just swing.
Are we?
Does this follow the
Yeah,
proper
no,
moon
I
cycle?
understand. Make a nature check as you look up into the sky.
24.
Bloop, bloop, bloop. Are the constellations where they're supposed to be, Drew?
Do we see the
As
moon
you-
passages
as you
that would
look-
properly be...
As you look into, you don't see a moon, but as you look into the sky, you do make out the constellations that would be in this air, roughly in this area at this time of year.
So because it's
Okay.
daytime, we're not seeing the moon.
Yes.
Because technically it's
The moon's not
daytime.
there. Yes.
Okay. Sorry, I just.
Yeah, it's cool.
Okay.
So it just
You're good.
blocks out the sun. It doesn't actually make it night. Like
Yes.
Yes.
So, it's just moonlit.
Yes. It's a style of moonlight.
Okay.
I guess the notable thing there is that there's a sign in undercommon.
Yeah, right? That's probably a good sign.
What are the three signs for the dims in one say?
Were they just languages?
The Dims In has the Dims In, but it's in common, undercommon, and abyssal.
Oh.
That's why there are three signs. And they all just kind of hang on each other by like a small chain. Like there's the common one, small chain,
Yeah.
undercommon, abyssal. Yes.
Beyond that, we need shopping, magical, and other. Because you never know what you might find to help, topple a dynasty.
friends and
There's also a different kind of shopping
What
for
a
that, though, too.
statement.
yeah, that's an all kind of different shopping.
I have to remember I have a grapple hook.
Oh yes.
Grab a hook, gun.
Yeah.
Yes.
I always forget I have it. There's a lot of things I
Oh,
forget
no.
I have.
We
I need to make a card for that. I totally forgot.
Oh,
I need to make a
See,
card
but
for that.
D&D Beyond is nice because you can have it, you know what's in each pack. So it's not just like, I have an Explorer's pack. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
As a general person, I don't know what the fuck's in an Explorer's pack.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you have a torch, you have a bedroll, you
and-
have
yeah.
10 rations, you have, like,
Scouting through to find places that you would shop for, especially because you had mentioned potions earlier, you pass by a place that is titled Termins, Tinctures, and Tonics. Fuck, that's hard to say.
I said it in tongues, and I was like, oh.
I'm just gonna call that Triple T because I ain't ever saying that again.
Termins.
Tinctures and tonics.
Turnips, temperatures,
Yep.
tongues.
Titanics.
Mhm. Yep. Absolutely.
Okay,
Exactly.
you keep saying other things and it makes me forget what the fuck you actually said.
Tinctures and tonics.
Hi, Andrew Lightwood here.
There was a slight mechanical or technological difficulty in recording this. So I'm just going to kind of finish it out as where the session was about to end anyway. But just to kind of give everybody that's listening a little insight as to exactly what happened. From the point in which you just heard, the party then scouted out through the city of Rosohna to find different shops and places that they could go to, as well as inns and taverns in which they could get some questions answered. And then after jotting down the names of a few places in which they were interested in, they then made their way back to the Shatterstep estate, where they would hole up for the night. Morzog identified the ring that Ilrana found on the Dryad that had been slain, to find out that it was a band of the Dryad. And then they took a long rest for the night, in which we will pick up next session, where they begin to travel through the city of Rosohna and find out what answers await them. This, yeah, we will see you all next week. Bye.